It is a civilizational crisis. I've said this before. We are at a place, and you can see it from a mile away, we are at a place where great civilizations start to go and new civilizational models begin to gain steam, and there's a place where those two cross paths and they simply cannot coexist. We are there right now.
So shout out to Paleocrat.
Oh yeah, follow Paleocrat. He's all over this.
The woman explained how her boyfriend told her that his high fiber diet means that wiping is completely unnecessary. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing stars. They're worse than the people on the corner talking about the rapture's about to happen. It's an apocalyptic death cult. It's so demonic. I'm starting to think there's some kind of a conspiracy going on around here. Yeah, we are the Wolfpack, by the way, guys. I forgot to say that. Ow! It's good to see you. It's good to see you. You guys always get me riled up, wild and zany. It's so eminent. Everything is eminent right now. 12 years, 8 years, we're all doomed. But the great animal uprising of 2020 is happening all around. They're even starting to talk, dude. I've seen movies. They're just at this point pulling diamonds out of their rear end, which would be a fascinating ability, by the way. I heard it's all about the pressure. It's gonna happen, guys. We're gonna push, and we're gonna push hard, because that is what is always done. That is what America does, which is why you can see all that destruction. And what happens, by the way? Cities get burned, windows get smashed, people get pulled out of their cars, individuals have been shot, individuals have been beat bloody on the streets, and then what ends up happening? White supremacy is the big problem in America. What? No! No, no, no! It's over, man. It is over, son. I think they're lying to us. And you know how we know this? Because they buy into everything. They spread fake news like crazy. Is this real, guys? 50-50. There are people out there that have physiques like that. You see them oftentimes in parking garages like valet drivers and stuff. If you want to be an ignoramus and try to do the fisticuffs, hit the road, Jack and Jacqueline and Karen. Oh, you're not based, dude. You're based in Pato land, as in like located. Let's look him up on Google real quick. Oh, he's on 666 Pato Street. We're just gonna have fun. There's no serious stuff going on here. Oh, they're mukbang spiders. Why? Oh, holy crap. No. No, no, no. Do not flaunt that. That is not something to be proud of. There's been a big price tag for the sins that we've committed as a nation. And we've committed some of the most grotesque sins in the history of the world. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's this dude. He's kind of a beta cock, Play-Doh rolling, bubble blowing kind of guy. He says, you better take off that effing shirt, because it offends women. What an ignorant way of looking at the world. You're going to be tossed to and fro by every whim and fancy of a culture that hates you. This dude thinks it's offensive to women that I don't walk around with my shirt off. It's easy to say how great we are, and I believe that we're truly great. On the other hand, we got Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. They have no connection with the past, other than to simply remind the past always how much they hate it, and to dance on the graves of the democracy of dead. The rabbits are now dressing up as Nicolas Cage. Plastic surgery, I bet, probably from that stinking cat. And you're like, you don't do plastic surgery. And he says, look at the plastic surgery I did for the rabbit. We need to repent. We need to take a knee for Jesus. Paleocrat's using that argument again. Come on, son. That's good, wholesome American stuff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They ain't never seen nothing like this before. Lit the room when I came through the front door. Ask me if I should overcome. What for? Train in the trees, please walk my sycamore. Touch burning sands, crosslands, and stormy shore seasons in the year, yeah. Ain't no challenge for champions and chain no fear. Yeah, the championship.
Good morning, everybody. What an amazing day. It is to be alive. It is Monday. It is Monday. Did you have a good weekend? I hope that you had an amazing weekend. I know I did. I had an amazing weekend. Did a whole bunch of amazing stuff. Ended up going to my sister's house. And my sister's totally awesome. Love her. My mom's in town. My brother's in town. They've got a whole bunch of kids. Delicious food. So we got to spend Sunday with her because it was St. Nicholas Day. By the way, yeah, belated happy St. Nicholas Day. I got to be better about doing, announcements for special feast days that are coming up. Okay, we got another one coming up very, very soon as well. We may talk about that. But it was a great time. But to be quite frank with you, there is a possibility that my sister and her brother had COVID. And so there was an exposure, and I say a possibility because my sister has cancer. I've talked about this. And they talked to the oncologist and everything, and they said, "Oh, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about coming in," because she said the symptoms. And they said, "Oh, because she was feeling better. It lasted a couple days. She's feeling better. Her husband is a couple days feeling better." And for whatever reason, and this is confirmed, that the oncologist is like, "Well, yeah, I wouldn't even worry about coming in." The problem with that, is, number one, you don't know. Number two is that, I don't want our kids to end up, possibly having been exposed and then, just send them off to school and everything else. Because the school that they go to, we try to abide by the rules the best we can, because we're part of a diocesan structure and the diocese has rules, and we're trying to be really courteous. And so it was at our discretion, but we felt it best to keep the kids home. So they're going to be home, actually, I believe, for a week is, I think, what's going to end up happening. And that there's a plus side to that. It is a bummer because we really love being able to send them off. But the school is really good because it began as a kind of a collective, if I remember correctly. It was, at least when it went through renewal, right, at Sacred Heart Academy, it went through this kind of renewal. And a lot of that renewal was based on people who'd been homeschooling their kids. And so a lot of the teachers and stuff and a lot of the curriculum was structured in such a way that it was just, primo for people who were accustomed to homeschooling. And so through this entire situation, it's been great. I'm not even kidding. It's been great because there's a lot of schools, a lot of public schools especially, they don't know how to handle that. And that their at-home education is garbage, and they're having a really tough time. Parents are, teachers are, they don't know how to do it. But this school, wow, it's like, oh, well, plus they have CEC, right? Classical education curriculum. So kids who are homeschooled and for a couple days, I think it's a couple days, or maybe it's just Thursday, might be Tuesdays and Thursdays, something like that, where they get to come in and they do certain classes with other students and everything else. So it kind of integrates and it allows them to do things like phys ed and competitive sports. And so it works out great. Plus, to be really honest, I miss those little buggers. I'm not going to lie. I miss them, man. Having them come down, having them salute at the end, all my little ones sitting on my lap and climbing all around. I really missed it. So I missed you guys. I missed you. And we've got a really great show, so I don't want to spend too long with all the introductions and things like that. But I must begin, as I do, each and every episode. Let me make sure here. Each and every episode, I got to begin with, let me make sure I'm not playing any video. Okay, there we go. So I got to begin by letting you know, no matter where you're tuning in, and I'm really grateful that all of you are tuning in right now, no matter where you are, it doesn't matter if you're on Facebook, it doesn't matter. In fact, you can see up at the top here, you can see a couple of these lines. That's me. You can see YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, DLive. It's all there. There's a whole bunch of different channels. In fact, you can see a number. I think there's 5 Facebook channels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Something like 10 YouTube channels all bumping at the same time. 2 Periscope channels bumping at the same time. So we got a whole bunch. It's all over. So no matter where you are, if you're tuning in and you want to be part of the conversation, that's one of the things that we do. And you can go ahead and post your comment. I'll show you, for example, right now. I got hello from Wisconsin. Hello, Barbara. It's nice to see you. Bethany says, hey, bud. Hey, it's Monday. It is. It's Monday. Woo! We are excited for Mondays here. I know a lot of people that they wake up on Mondays and they're like really bummed out. They're really bummed out. You know, they're like, oh no, it's a case of the Mondays. And they don't know what to do with themselves. And I'm like, you got to tune in. You got to tune into the show because we rejoice every single day. We rejoice every day. And especially on the days that might be tough. We say that, don't we? We say that because here we are the Wolf Pack. And we tell everybody, man, we are a group. We are howling at the sun. We're rejoicing every day because it's another day that we've opened our eyes to a sun or a moon, right? Depending on where you are on the planet, you know, and what kind of shift you're working. But we've opened our eyes to another amazing day that the Lord has made, and we are resolved deep inside to rejoice and be glad in it. So we are not shoved down to the ground, crawling on our bellies because it's Monday. Not here, son. Not here. So if you want some of that, jazzy energy, right? The jazz hands of the heart. You want that. We are the jazz hands of the heart. That's what we are here, man. Aren't we, guys? It's true. It's true. Day 7 of the final level of 2020. Here we go. Yes. And there's a whole bunch of emojis. Really, really grateful for that. Really grateful for that. All right, here. Let's see. Do we have any more? Let's see. Before we move on. Yeah, Holy Faith Media. Good morning, sir. I salute you, my friend. And by the way, I got to let everybody know. I'm going to try to get back to the original plan. And the original plan is 2 hours. I'm going to try. In fact, I've made it so that I don't have as many different topics to talk about. I'm sorry to tell you that. But part of the reason is and it was a good professional suggestion by the powers that be here at Holy Faith Media. It was this idea that, you know, I've been doing 3 hours live streaming. That's fun. It's great. It's a blast. We have an amazing time. But the truth is, a lot of people on the replay, if they go to the YouTube channel or they go anywhere else and they see, 3 hours, dang, son, that's a lot of talking. It is. It is a lot of talking. And sometimes they want to be able to have some kind of a clip. And you got this, for example, to take a good example, is Joe Rogan, right? So Joe Rogan has an amazing podcast, very long. Is it 3 hours long, something like that? Right? So he's got, sorry about that. So he's got, numerous hours of interview, but then they always end up putting out clips. And the professional suggestion was, we got to start putting out clips for the people who show up to the YouTube channel or who want to go to the website. And that way they can share. And it's not necessarily going to be 3 hours. Hey, there was a funny part. Go find it. and it wouldn't require me to go through and do a catalog and do timestamps for each and everything. Because to be honest, it's really labor intensive. And so we're working behind the scenes. And he's like, look, can I, if you don't mind, I want to offer a professional suggestion. Please don't get mad. I'm like, dude, bro, I've been through some junk in my life. The idea that I'm going to get mad at a professional suggestion from the powers that be. Are you serious? And he's my friend. I love the guy. He's a great guy. He's Canadian, but he's a good one. He's a good Canadian, man. I know at least a couple of those people. But it's a good suggestion. And so, I'm going to try. We are going to try to get back to that original place. Let's see. Brian says, I sent you an article. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, we're even on Instagram today. We are even on Instagram. So if you follow Holy Faith Media on Instagram, you can follow it. I heard that you'll only be able to see the center of the screen. That's what I heard. Right? We'll figure this thing out. But no matter what, well, right now, I wouldn't be on the screen at all. It would just be a blue thing, just a blob. And I don't want to put myself in the middle. I mean, it might be kind of fun. I don't know. Maybe I could do it. Well, we'll figure it out, guys. We'll figure it out, okay? Let's see. I sent you an article about the animal uprising. It's in the Paleocrat Diaries email. Apologies, by the way. Apologies to the people who've emailed me over the past week. We've been, on a professional level, extremely busy. And on a family level, extremely busy. Not just with things with the show, but things with being a delegate, things with coordinating with other patriotic leaders around the state, as well as my mom was here for a couple days, and then the weekend was just jam-packed. In fact, it was so jam-packed, I made a big mistake. I didn't realize what day it was. I was scheduled to be one of the people at the door making sure that the list, because we have like 5 masses going on, And so you need to sign up, right? Because they're trying to facilitate as many people as humanly possible. So they're doing like 5 or 6 masses a day to get this done. And so they reached out to me and asked if I'd be somebody who would be at the door and make sure that the people coming in are on the list to see how many seats we've got, stuff like that. And yeah, I didn't show up. I was a no call, no show. I mean, it's grotesquely embarrassing. I mean, it's like, you know, once I realized it, and I realized it well into the mass. You know, I'm sitting there and I'd been working all day long and I'm like just dogging, you know, I'm super tired. And I look at the clock and I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this happened to me. So I apologize. I'm getting to the emails as soon as this show is over. I got some from a guy. A number of people have reached out to me saying that they've emailed. So I apologize. Ailey's in the comment section. Yep, Ailey is in the comment section. Yeah, Holy Faith Media says that gave me a real LOL. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. You got to laugh, man. You got to have a really good time. Yeah. Oh, and Ross McElroy. If you see Ross, apparently it's not really Ross. It's not really Ross. It is Angela McElroy. And good morning to you. I hope you're doing great at your work. Yes, Annan Soul. I have missed you, Annan. I'm serious. I've missed you. Yeah, I really appreciate that you're here. It warms my heart. It warms my heart to see it. Oh, and Angela says today's the feast of St. Ambrose. What? It's the feast of St. Ambrose. It's my son's name day. Oh, yes, man. Okay, well, we're going to have to party. We're going to have to party. Woo! We're going to do it, guys. We are going to party hard. Oh, it's going to be great, man. Let's see. Does anyone know his parents' name? You talking my parents? Susan Bornbach? You talking my parents? I don't know, man. Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about, Susan? By the way, I'm really glad to see you here, Susan. I'm glad to see all the ladies, to be honest. We're really grateful. And I say this every day. And I hope, ladies, I hope you appreciate it. I do. I don't think you get enough credit. I don't think you get enough credit. I don't think you get enough praise. I don't think you get enough recognition. And it, you know, it's in this day and age where you've got, you know, the feministing constantly all the time. But that is not the kind of recognition that you want. Okay? You aren't in that world. Not the people tuning into the show. Not the people tuning into the show. These are the Sally Sues, right? These are the Sally Sues of America. A lot of the flyover country folks. It's what they are. They love their husband. They love their families. They love their children. They love their church. They love their community and their neighborhoods. They love their home. They work hard, right? They use their gifts and talents in extraordinary ways. And they like to be entertained. They like to be entertained, especially in the morning. And so they make sure, they say, look, they don't just want entertainment, though, right? They want entertainment and enlightenment. And the truth is, the show is jam-packed with both. And so we have a really good time, and we're always just heaping praise upon the ladies. And it's true. It's true. There's a very scientific study, polling that was done. I think maybe significant amounts of money were put into that to verify, in fact, that the ladies who tune in are extraordinarily intelligent, right, wildly attractive, and very righteous in the heart. They're beautiful all around, filled with grace. They are. They're just seeping grace everywhere they go. It's just radiating off of them. And so we're really grateful, of course, for each and all of you. Sorry, asking about Joe Rogan. I don't know. You know, Susan, I wish I knew Joe Rogan's family. Wouldn't I? I wish I did. The guy is the most popular podcast in the world. You know, I would love to say, oh, yeah, man, I got Joe on speed dial. I don't know, Susan. I don't know. But that, you know, it's a good question, though. It's a good question. You know, if anybody knows Joe Rogan's family, let me know. And by let me know, I mean send me an email. We got to connect, man. You got to, you know, give me, I found out one of the listeners is friends with Shane Trejo from BigLeaguePolitics.com. That's one of the sites that we use as a source on a regular basis. And I have mentioned numerous times I would like to meet Shane. And I'm thinking, bro, you tune in like every day. And you're homeboys with Shane. You need to hook your man up with him. And so that way we can talk and have him on the show and just be buddies. I mean, that way you can just text me and, you know, that'd be really nice, dude. Would be really, really, really nice. Yeah, Clay's in there. Clay, nice to see you. So the whole idea, right? CF, good morning, Pack. Yes, man. ND is legit. As a Go Blue fan, realize you can't respect ND, Notre Dame, But as a Catholic, you have to love Notre Dame. It's totally true. I have a friend who's his son's in the band there. In fact, I just saw his son yesterday. His son's in town. He had his varsity jacket on and had the band symbol on there. Really, really cool guy. Really amazing dude. Really amazing family, actually. One of my favorite people since I've moved to Grand Rapids. One of my favorite friends, and his family is just awesome, and we're really grateful. But yeah, he goes there. And yeah, I'm a Go Blue guy. I'm a Go Blue guy. Let's see here. Bethany says, we're thankful for you too. I am grateful. I am grateful. Charles Tracy Young says, I see you're still spewing lies about a stolen election. Yeah, see, that's the weird thing. Who's Charles Tracy Young? Who is that anyway? On Periscope, I see you're still spewing the lies. The lies. And it's statistically verified. By the way, I don't know if people saw that video. Yeah, I thought I had it on here. It was a lady, I forget what state it was in. They were doing a hearing and stuff, and there's this guy who's responding, talking about the laws, the statutes that were not enforced. So you had, and this is true in a lot of these states, where they end up having laws where the legislature puts laws together. They're the only ones with the constitutional authority to do so. And yet, during COVID, when all of these executive branches and judicial branches feel like they've got some kind of dictatorial power, more than they already do, they decide, well, we're going to extend it, or we're going to change the rule here, we're going to change the rule over there. And or in some cases, they pull the really clever move to say, we didn't change anything, we just, switched a word that is and made it or in the statute. Oh, that's significant, by the way. Yes, a both and versus an either or. Well, let me think here. And the thing is, legally, not allowed. So here's the amazing thing, and I'm sorry to tell you, Charles, but like he said, in some situations, even if there wasn't widespread fraud, which we've actually shown repeatedly day after day after day, for 3 hours a day, example after example of widespread fraud, but even if there was not widespread fraud, you can't do that, because to change the statute in that way, to change it, to take the responsibility and power that has not been given to you constitutionally to make exceptions or to do a little tweak in here and there. Whenever that happens, yeah, it kind of, invalidates it. Period. Full stop. See you in court, sweetie. It's the way that goes. It's the way that goes. Very unimpressive, man. And it cracks me up when people are like, oh, dude, there's no evidence. You can't show me any evidence of it at all. And I'm like, bro, it's all over the TV, video after video, and video after video of this particular show. We've done it over and over and over. Every single day. I own you guys left and right. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Swatting you away like a nuisance, like a little fly, like a gnat. Yeah. You ain't hard, man. You ain't hard. Do better, buddy. Do better, buddy. You got to do it, man. All right, guys. All right, here we go. So remember, of course, okay, as we're moving on, what the heck is that? Make sure to go to paleocratdiaries.com, and you can see here, this is in the all post category, including my reader request, the list of books that formed the life of my mind, Help Wanted, a call for volunteers and contributors, my speech at Stop the Steal, Stuff to Do with Paleo Cheese, the other podcast I co-host with Chad Lutsky, the Spooky Spiders, Flying Cars, and Stop the Steal, my appearance on Meaning of Catholic, all that stuff is there. Okay, so you can go ahead and see that in the all post section of paleocratdiaries.com. Of course, you can become a member. I'm really grateful. Over the weekend, we had a number of people who became members. We even had, last week, we had a really great donation. In fact, it was a rather significant one, and we are extraordinarily grateful because 100% of the funds that we receive go toward our children's education at Sacred Heart Academy. We've shown many videos of Sacred Heart. I may show a little bit of one today. But the thing is that we aren't at that place where we make the entirety of the monthly expense, right? And that doesn't even include how much it costs for uniforms and other things. And we're already thinking ahead, because we're over 50%. In fact, last month, I think it was 75% of it came from the show. So we're grateful for each and every one of you. You guys are amazing. And we want to do better about showing you as members and people following the show what that means. We're going to start doing little videos with our kids where they can show you things that they've learned. I'm going to have my son Athanasius. He's going to recite the St. Michael the Archangel prayer in Latin. And my daughter, she's memorizing a poem and stuff that my son is doing. And so there's different things that they do, and we want to kind of showcase that so that you really know what you're investing in and what is happening to these children, and how powerful of an impact it has on them in their mind, in their heart, in their life, because they're not just making great students, they're making future leaders, and most importantly, they're forming saints. And it's a powerful thing. And so we're really grateful for that. If you go to the membership page for $5 a month, you are a bona fide member of the Paleo Naughty. And of course, there's other ways that you can, of course, contact us there. You got our contact information on that page, including my wife. There she is, my mega hot half Korean wife. Yeah, Ailey in the comment section, by the way. You see her, make sure to say hi. And lastly, if you would like to connect with me on a different level with interviews, donations, of course, are welcome, but interviews are free. I'm not going to be like, hey, you're going to have to pay me to do an interview. But if you want to donate and say, we love your show, man, we love what you're doing, we want to be part of your kids', education and stuff, and whatever comes after that, right? Whatever comes after that we can say that this is what you're doing, this is the impact you're having, that it's part of the mission still, because we always want to make sure that all of the contributions from the show remain in harmony and in tandem, in fact, with the greater heart and mission of the show. But also public speaking. Invite me to speak at your school, church, club, or small group. It's really easy. Everything's negotiable, by the way. It's typically just trip, lodge, and an offer. And that's it. In lodging, it doesn't have to be, I'm not going to be like, put me in a hotel. You want to put me in a house, with the organizer. That's what I'd prefer. I pay for my own food, too. And of course, my own beer. I don't know, man. I don't know. I was thinking about it. You guys are paying for my beer, man. I'm going to be all night. No, I don't even drink beer. But sometimes. But trip, lodge, and offer. So super, super easy. Super easy to do. And if you haven't heard any of my speeches, some of my speeches are available in different places. I'm going to upload the speech I did to Make-A-Wish, Michigan a couple years ago. That was at the MGM Grand in Detroit for their Wish Ball. It's their annual Wish Ball, their soiree that they've got. It's a very, very fancy one. It's their fanciest one of the year. And I spoke there right before the keynote, in fact, right before Howie Mandel, in fact. And so that was what, so I've done that. There's other speeches that you can hear, as well as, of course, the speeches that I've done at the last two Stop the Steal rallies at the steps at the Capitol in Lansing, Michigan. So, all right, let's see here. Oh yeah, and of course you can subscribe. And that's just, I can't even get it bigger. Yeah, it's just at the bottom of the page. So you can subscribe. It's totally free. We don't spam you. It's a good time. So make sure to do all those things. All right. So moving on, we're going to talk funny stories. We got to crank it out, guys. We got to crank it out. I'm going to do my best. If we go a little bit over 2, forgive me. We're going to try to keep it the best we can. And so that was a long time there in the beginning. And I appreciate you guys for hanging out and sticking around. I really appreciate everything you guys do for us. So, all right, here we go. What is this thing? Is this real, by the way? If you guys see this, hold on. I don't want to do that. Hold on. Oh, here we go. I'll just make it this big. Maybe we'll get it a little bit bigger in a second. But okay, this thing doesn't even look real. I'm not entirely sure. And remember, the first hour, right? In this case, maybe the first 45 minutes, we normally talk about funny stories. And so that's what we're going to hit on right now. We're going to go ahead and do that. So this first funny story is looking like, I don't know. You tell me if it's real or not, man. Okay, already, just so you guys know, all right, I'm going to have to zoom this in. For one, look at those talons. And look at his face. Look at that bugger's face, man. It's a kangaroo. Imagine, by the way, being in a place where you're hearing kind of scratchy on the window, and you're like, do, I wonder what that is. And you go back to the back thinking maybe it's a squirrel. Maybe it's a little bird, kind of little wings flapping and a little beak click, click, click against the window. I don't know. And you get back there and it's that bugger. For one, he looks like he's, 6 foot tall, right? Doesn't he? And look at his face. He's very manly. And it's like a poker face. Like, you don't know, what is this bugger wanting? But the face is one thing. It's kind of like, man, that is a little bit intimidating. The pecs on that thing are massive. Okay, so it's very muscular. It's like, I don't know what this bugger's lifting. I don't know where he works out. but that gymnasium is probably really good. And so this guy is super ripped, okay, this kangaroo. But look at the stinking talons. I didn't know, by the way. I should have figured. But I didn't know that they had talons like that. I thought that they all wore boxing gloves. You know, I've seen movies. So I figure these guys are wearing boxing gloves. Okay, you know, and if you're wearing boxing gloves, you're not seeing the talons. But in this case, this dude is not wearing boxing gloves, and he's looking like Freddy Krueger. And so, he's looking like Wolverine. This is really freaking me out here a little bit. But what would you do? What would you do? Would you invite him in for some tea and crumpets? Do they do that down there? What do they have down there? What's the equivalent? What's the equivalent down under, man, for tea and crumpets, man? Oh, okay, that's a better clip. Look at it. And again, dude, look at the shoulders. Look at the definition on this bugger, dude. Oh my gosh, this guy, you know, this guy's like, seriously, maybe he's taking SARMs, right? Oh no, in the comments, that kangaroo just wants to fight. He's got some roid rage. Dude, doesn't it look like it a little bit? Doesn't it look like this guy? I don't know, he's pretty calm though. He's pretty relaxed,
Don't you scratch my window.
Yo, don't you, yo, he's gonna listen. No, he's not.
Oi.
Oh, he's all jumping up, kicking it. Oh, he wants in, dude. This bugger is not playing around. What do you think he wants, man? What do you think this thing wants? Oh, dude. Dude, he's chest bumping that. Oh my gosh. Run, dude. Get out of there. Again, what would you guys do? What would you guys do in that situation, man? I don't know. I don't know, man. It freaked me out. I'll say that much, dude. It would freak me out big time. All right, let's see here. Over at UPI.com, escaped sheep wanders into hotel, waits for the elevator. It's just waiting patiently. It's waiting patiently. Again, what are these animals doing, dude? We are on the front lines of the Great Animal Uprising, and we're still trying to figure out how far back this goes, right? And trying to plot out kind of a timeline to see when did it intensify, you know? How bad has it gotten? Who got involved at what point in time? Because we know the cats have been in it for a long time. We know the dogs have been in it for a long time. So there's other animals that we know have been involved. Okay, same thing with doves. Same thing with doves. Same thing with ravens. So crows. So we know a whole bunch of different animals all throughout time. We know it, but now it's gotten to the point that dolphins, okay, raccoons. Well, raccoons have probably been in it for a long time. They hover around people. But dude, come on, man. You know, escaped sheep wanders into hotel, waits for elevator. And don't you love how they always frame it innocently? Just look at this little sheep. Does it look that innocent? Or does it look like maybe it is plotting and scheming? Some kind of a conspiracy going on around here. It's true. It is true. And we all know it. We all know that it is, guys. Here we go. Let's see this bugger. Do. Oh, he's like, oh, you busted me. Oh, no.
Oh my god.
That's it? That's it. Oh, come on. Yeah, but you see, oh, man, it's covering it up. It's covering it up. But you saw how he turned, man. He's like looking like this. He's all trying to be shady. And all of a sudden, man, he hears them and he's like, what? His face, oh no. He's spooked. He's like busted, man. He's like, he's sitting there tapping his little hoof. Come on, get down here. I'm going to get busted. And he was. But we don't know what happened afterward. We need to follow up with this, guys. We need to follow up. What in the world? Ben I don't even need to read the rest of it. I see this and I'm like, what is going on? Ben Shapiro pulls pants down to ankles before going to the bathroom. You got to be able to make fun of your own, guys. You got to be. And is Ben Shapiro really one of our own? Is he? I've never really considered it that. I've always taken great offense when people are like, dude, your voice sounds like Ben Shapiro. And I'm like, I don't think so. And by the way, you are now an enemy of mine. How dare you, dude? I don't sound like Ben Shapiro. The heck, dude? What the heck? The guy's a neocon. He was a never Trumper. In the part. But he was one of those that real quickly, oh yeah, it's time we, take a knee for, Biden. I don't think so. I don't think so. Ben can take it and shove it. Not a big fan of that. Alt-right conservative commentary. Alt-right? Hard times. Yeah, you really don't get what the alt-right is. This is a joke, right? And I don't want to get too political on this, but man, right out of the, who wrote this crap? Who wrote this crap? Stephen Bell? Stephen Bell, look, you might be a funny guy. This is a funny concept. But labeling Ben, and I don't even like Ben Shapiro, but to label him as alt-right? No. Let me just put it this way. No. Because there's a lot of reasons why. Number one, his outright condemnation of the alt-right. Number two, the alt-right's outright condemnation of him. Why don't you ask Richard Spencer? Say, hey, are you and Ben Shapiro buddies? Are you guys really close? Are you guys' ideas blending and mashing together? It's already starting out a little dumb, but okay. I don't want to lose the point. I don't want to get distracted. That might be what it is. Ben Shapiro pulled his pants all the way down around his ankles yesterday to use the urinal in a public restroom. This is multiple scoffing witnesses apparently confirmed. Apparently confirmed. It's obviously true. It's thehardtimes.net. Oh my gosh. Some dweeby looking 30-something dude with a sixth grader's haircut walked into a bathroom and starts peeing in the urinal right next to mine, which is already bad form. It's true, guys. Is it bad form? Is it bad form? Is it bad form kind of like leaving the lid up when you are done using the bathroom? Wives are always, very strict about that. They always let us know that's a real problem kind of thing. But I think it's also a problem that the ladies don't lift the lid back up when they're done. Have you ever thought about that, ladies? You need to be a little bit more respectful, of us. So we can both work on it, but is it bad form if you go in, there's a bunch of urinals and you end up walking right to one next to another guy? And how much worse is it if you drop the drawers to the floor? If you drop it to the floor, how much worse is that? I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like a 15. I think it's pretty bad. I would look at that like, I don't know about that, man. It's already bad form, given that the unspoken rule is you take the farthest possible urinal. Oh my gosh. Said fellow Tingler Bo Chen. But then he dropped his pants, lifted his shirt all the way up, put his hands on his hips and just, let it go. The dude just went everywhere. I'm confident if he was tall enough to see over the 4-foot tall divider, he'd have done, a little other stuff too. Here's the thing. And I don't know where this is all going to go, so I'm just going to go over this. But I'm going to have to admit, I had to switch it over. I think it's another article. And what do? I switch it over to this kid with this crazy mullet. But I got to say this, man. I did that once. I pulled a Ben Shapiro. I think I was like 20 years old, maybe. No, I wasn't 20 years old. I had to be maybe 18 years old. We went to the rally. Our youth group went to a rally in Michigan. It was at the Silver Dome. So we were going to the Silver Dome, and it was going to be a whole bunch of fun. It was going to be totally packed out with kids all over the place. And we end up having to go to the bathroom. We go to this rest stop, and there's all these people there, right? And or maybe it wasn't at the Silver Dome. It was at this rest stop. The place was packed, right? There's tons of people. And I'm with all these buddies in the van and stuff. And I just walk up. I did that exact thing. Just all the way to the ground, all the way up, right above, up to my chest, holding it like this. And dude, they were trying so hard not to laugh. They had to leave. They got in the back of the line. They were laughing so hard. They're like, dude, that was the most ridiculous thing we've ever seen. So I was young. I was a little restless. I'm not encouraging anybody to do that. It's not the best way to make friends kind of thing. Kind of like this haircut. I don't want to dog this little guy. I mean, he's probably at some, mud bogging competition, or he's at, a race at a track, a clay track kind of thing. This kid was born with a suspended driver's license. Dude, they're dogging the kid, man. Come on. The kid, He's obviously in a house. He probably has parents that are like, oh no, dude, it's like not only dope to have that Dumb and Dumber haircut in the front and to have that long, long mullet in the back, but also, I don't know if you can see it up close, but those sideburns, son, dang. I mean, they just took him from like halfway up the side of his temple and just dropped it straight back behind the ear. There's a lot of stupid going on in that haircut. I ain't gonna lie. That's child abuse in a way. I don't want to call it child abuse, but this is something this kid's gonna have to live with for the rest of his life. And he may not be scarred now, but he's gonna be torn to pieces later. And so, it's one of those things. It's one of those things. It's like really stupid names. What's this? Her. OMG. I love Korean music. Me trying to impress her. Okay, well, let's see here. Okay, I don't want to get a copyright strike, by the way, guys, from North Korea. They're like, dude, that's a hit song. That's a hit song in North Korea. You can't play that. And it's one of those, I only played it for 6 seconds. But I don't want to get in trouble here. I normally don't care, but I recently found out, much to my surprise, that you guys did something amazing for me. You did something totally amazing. And what you did was you watched so much of the show that you ended up fast tracking monetization on my channel. I think you can actually do, oh no, I got to apply for it. Oh no. So I qualify. Right? And so you can go ahead and do super chats. Although, to be honest with you, that is maybe a dumb way of donating because YouTube takes 50%. So I'm going to put on here, I'm going to put our PayPal real quickly in the comment section. So it'll go into all of them. It will go into all the different comment sections. And this is the, let me just make sure I got it right. There we go. And I've also got Cash App, so I'm going to put that in there too. But you guys helped monetize my channel. That's how it happened, man. So very, very, very cool. Yeah, you can send it to PayPal. Of course, you can do Cash App if you want to do, one-time donations and stuff. Oh, yeah, I'm really blurry. Look at that. Why did that happen? There we go. Oh, man, that looks better. Yeah, okay. So here's the thing: is that I'm monetized, so I don't want to be in trouble. Don't want to be in trouble, especially with North Korea. It just sounds like a dumb thing. This looks like it's going to be pretty dumb, but we're going to find out exactly what is happening with this. I don't like busting. Oh boy, see, I don't like just busting people's chops. You know what I'm saying? And we're doing the jihad on fat, so we're recognizing our own weaknesses. I got something to say, by the way, about that. I might just use this opportunity here in a minute to talk about it, because this is somebody you might need to be jihading to. But I don't know. Maybe she's on our side. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. We're gonna find out.
Can we normalize men in muzzles?
Oh, okay. All right, guys. she's already starting out not on the good kid list. She is on the bad person list. Lots of coal in her stocking. if she even believes in those. If she even believes in that. She's kind of a Festivus person. She looks like it, doesn't she? And with that kind of, can't the boys all be wearing the muzzles? I don't know, lady. I ain't wearing no muzzle. That's for sure. I thought she'd at least be somewhat pleasant. But the thing is, coming out, guns a-blazing like that, look, man, it's going to be hard to be nice. Should I listen, guys, to the rest of this? And yeah, this chick's TikToking it up, man. You're right, CF, in the comments, dude. TikToking it up. What the heck, dude?
Because all they want to do is...
What? Do we do that? I don't know. I get mad. I do. I get pretty ticked off. Not gonna lie. So I will. Let me make sure I can crank that up. Yeah. So I get to the place where, I get riled up and I'm like, I'm going nuts. But that, I don't know, man. I've never seen him go. Oh my gosh, lady. This is not good.
But, honey, the biggest turn on you can do for a woman.
Okay. before she even begins talking about the biggest turn on for women, I must just, kind of get ahead of the curve on this and say, well, hold it. First of all, I think that there's approximately 0 people, 0 men who have ever asked this lady for any advice when it comes to, connecting with the chicks. You guys agree with me on this? I mean, you seeing what I'm seeing here? You hearing what I'm hearing? Do your eyes see what I see? Do your ears hear the not so melodious tune gurgling out of this lady's mouth, out of her yapper? How many guys, you tell me, how many guys go to this lady and say, hey, give me some advice. Give me some advice on ladies. Highly unlikely. On shaving, maybe. Ladies, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Or anyone, is shut that pipe.
Shut that pipe. Shave that lip. I don't mean to be rude, but you're coming at me talking about muzzling dudes. I'm allowed to tell you to shave your lip. Is it true? Am I allowed to say that, or am I being a rude jerk? I don't want to be a rude jerk, man. I got a special place in my heart for the ladies. It's true. You guys know it. So I'm not sitting here just trying to be rude to this lady. And she's talking about, putting muzzles on dudes. And I'm saying, look, you got a pretty tenacious amount of hair growing on that lip there. You got, you got a lot happening here. And I can't imagine that is really going to make it very good for her either. That she's going to be doing really well with the men because of that TikTok video. I don't know. I mean, maybe she's got an OnlyFans page. It takes all kinds. There's all sorts of weirdos in the world. I can tell you that. And so, I mean, it's possible. Robbie in the comments says, I bet she's got the entire Golden Corral menu memorized. Oh, dude. Oh, I was reading it and I'm like, as I'm getting into it, I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, this is deep. I'm blaming it on Robbie. Okay? Yeah, Robbie. And yes, there are guys, it is true. There are guys who like the bigger ones. I get it. I know dudes like that. And I know some women who are grateful for that. We hear, look, women come in all different shapes and sizes, but a lot of shapes and sizes, in fact, most shapes and sizes are at one's discretion and will. It's at the level of desire and discipline. And that's true for dudes. It's true for the girls. Unless, they're and people can say whatever they want. They can say, no, I've tried doing this or I've tried doing that and it just doesn't work. And I'm like, well, for one, if you don't have a medical condition, the likelihood that that's actually true is just like basically zero. I've done that to myself. Oh, I've tried. I've done these crash diets. I've done this. I've done that. And my doctor says, well, how often are you actually exercising? Well, I do a lot of work. I sit down in front of a chair. Okay, I got you. I hear you. But the truth is, don't give me that crap, right? I really want to. I just want to do it the magic way. And a lot of people, they get to an age where you simply got to be, you've got to be active. That's me. I'm 42 years old. I'll be 43 in March. The idea that I can just cut down on my food and lose that weight, I've gone long periods of time with a really strict and very healthy food regimen. And at this point, my doctor's like, look, your metabolism, the daily activity level that you have or do not have is ultimately going to be what's the difference between you being, 25 pounds overweight and you being, physically fit and looking, pretty tank. It's going to be the difference. And we shouldn't be surprised. God gave us arms and legs. We've got muscles, joints and bones. That's what I'm saying. If you got a medical condition, you're one of those people that was born without any bones or something. Here's the blob. Or, you're paralyzed. But even then, I don't want to say that because I know too many dudes and too many ladies in wheelchairs that look like Arnold. I do. I know them. I know them. You know, and it's hard. I get it. I've been doing this. I've been doing a jihad, and sometimes I fail. Like last night, I was struggling to sleep. So what did I do? I did what anybody who's struggling to go to sleep does. I went downstairs and made myself a bowl of really, really sugary cereal. That was the stupidest thing in the world. I immediately regretted it. But today, my butt's getting on that weight set, and I'm going to be lifting weights. I'll be doing push-ups. I'll do chin-ups. I'll do whatever I got to do. Do the dips. Grab onto a couch. Do some dips. Do some leg lifts. Do some. I don't know about. There's better things to do than crunches, by the way. There's way better things you can do. I'll do a HIIT program. I'm doing a HIIT program today. 15 minutes, 3 times a week. 3 times a week, doing a HIIT program, and lifting 2 to 3 days a week. And then doing intermittent fasting. And I'll lay it out. I'm going to write it out today, and I'll have it up at the website. And see, when you show someone something you're really proud of, and they say cool and change the subject. Oh, dude. Look at that little bugger's face. And he's got a guitar. He's got a guitar. Oh, dude. Does that make your day, by the way? I mean, it's sad. But this guy's cute. Come on, man. Come on. And with that little guitar. Dude, I'd love to get a ticket to his concert, man. I'd love to see that little bugger's concert. But look at his eyes. It's so sincere, isn't it? It's so sincere. Let's see. Okay, I'm not even going to show this one. Well, I'll show it. But we're not going to talk about that. Why are you guys showing me this? Why are you guys sharing these stories with me? Oh my gosh. What are you guys doing, man? Let's see here. Oh, I already did that, man. I already did that. Let's see this one. Okay. We're only going to do 1 or 2 more, and then we gotta move on, guys. We got to move on. So, okay, what's this thing? And by the way, if you guys are interested, I'm being dead serious about this. If you're interested in losing weight and you feel like you're alone, or you feel like, you're currently not able to do certain exercises, like I said, do a HIIT program. I know people, a buddy of mine, for example, he has really bad back issues. The idea, and I'm talking bad, the idea that he's just going to all of a sudden start doing, mountain climbers is highly unlikely. But if you want a support group and you want people who every day are going to try and admit, if they fail, they fail, but they're actively trying, and that they are recognizing that they can't just sit around, on their phones, or sit around online, or sit in front of a TV all day, or eat at the Golden Corral every day and shove tons of food down their face and drink whatever kind of products they want, but also be realistic about it. To say, you know what, as long as you're aware of what you're eating and trying to make it better, not going radical, not going extreme, okay, not because you're gonna burn out. How many of you have done that? How many of you have burned out? You sit there and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go ahead and do, some really hardcore. I've done keto, I've done vegan, I've done carnivore, I've done all of these different. I've done a whole bunch. Did Atkins back in the day. Did Atkins, and then I did all sorts of things. It was really tough, and I said, you know what? I said, now I'm gonna try not to eat the sugary sweet cereal. I'm gonna try not to do that. I'm gonna still try to limit, right, the ridiculous foods, and try to focus more on learning the discipline of even making food and even kind of better understanding food and how it works in the body and in what you need for certain days. More carbs on days where you're lifting heavy. A lot of proteins on days when you do maybe a HIIT program or you're riding a bike. Things like that. But to do that and to have a network of people that are willing to work with each other and say, look, how did you do today? And to keep an inventory and not to give up. Not to give up. You want to do that, man? Keep tuning into the show. Because we're going to do it. I'm going to show you progress, man, because we can do this, guys. We can do this. There is nothing in our destiny that says that you are going to be a fat slob. The stars did not align. God did not predestine you to be a fat, stinking slob who doesn't take care of yourself and who doesn't take care of your health. That's just not true. And so if you want to be mega dope, and over whether it takes a year, whether it takes 2 years, whether you never actually reach that place, but to keep in mind that you basically want the physique of the folks from the movie 300. If you want that, and you want to just be the best you can be in your own body, you want to be the best you can be to glorify God, not only with your thoughts, not only with your words, not only with your actions, with caring for people and almsgiving and loving your family and raising them right and being faithful to your wife, but you also want to say, I also want my wife to be like, like goo goo gaga, because she's like, dang son, my son's my husband is looking pretty dope right now. You want to do that? You stick along for the ride. You stick along for the ride. All right. Okay. Oh, does he make it? I'm pausing it. I paused at the perfect time. Guys, right now, money down. What are the odds? This dude makes it, or this guy is going to live the rest of his life without a nose? Would you ever do this? Ever? No way. I would not. I'm just letting you guys know right now. Ain't doing this thing. Ain't doing it at all. Oh, and he made it. Oh my gosh, dude. Look at that guy. He's really grateful. He's really grateful, man. Look at his face. He's like, I get to keep my face for another day. Yeah, another day. Dude, I would strongly advise for you not to do that again. That's just what I would say, man. It's just what I would say. All right. Well, last one. Oh, and look, what the? Look at this little bugger, dude. Look at his eyes. Look at that little face and the way the ears are bent down. When everybody always yells, werewolf, but nobody ever asks, how, wolf? I do, and I ask it to the wolf pack because that is you guys. It is you guys, and I'm grateful, man. I love, and by the way, if you're feeling this way, and you're part of the wolf pack, and you're having a downtime, and you got the sad eyes, you got the little wolf puppy lip kind of thing happening, puppy eyes and all that. If you're in that place in your heart and in your mind, in your spirit, you reach out to us. It's as easy as an email. Okay? It's as easy as going to the website, and in fact, there's a Let's Chat box. Don't know why it's there, but it goes straight to my phone. Also, don't know why that's the case, but it's true. It's true. And so, you can go ahead and reach out to us. And reach out to us in the comments, man. We pray for people. We're going to add a prayer request list. If you have a prayer request, it might be hard to do it in the comments because we don't have people writing it down in real time. But if you have a prayer request, make sure to send it to us. We can put it up at the website. And if you say, unspoken or whatever, and you want to tell us what it is, or you don't want to tell us, but you say it's a big deal, please pray for us. Definitely go ahead and do that. And we'll keep a running tab of that. Also, so that we can talk to people about praise reports as well. Just they can sit there and say, "Hey, man, God's been doing awesome stuff in my life. We prayed about this, and this is what happened. And we're really grateful, man. We're grateful to God no matter what, though. No matter what, though, we don't treat it like some magic thing. We don't sit there and treat God like a genie, but we definitely bring all of our concerns to Him. And we lay it upon Him. Okay." Because the yoke is easy, the burden is light, and He invites us to beat down that door all the time. And we do. We not only beat it down, guys. We not only beat it down. The truth is, we do more than that. We do much more than that. So hold on here. Let me get this back over. I'm going to go ahead and switch this over. Because I heard that for like a nanosecond. It was like it's about to start my countdown. It's about to start my countdown. Which would not be good. But look, we have to get our coffee ready, guys, because it's that time. It's the midpoint of the show. We are going to rock this out. We're going to try really hard to keep this not too long today. I'm going to try it, okay? I've been bumping like 3.5 hours. I've been bumping like 3.5 hours. Not cool, man. It is cool, but it's not cool at the same time. And so we want to make sure. We want to make sure that we are doing our very best on the show, and that no matter where you are in your life, right? The waves may have gotten you down. In fact, before we do this, I'll give you enough time to go ahead and get your coffee ready, okay? Get your coffee ready. I want to read something. I want to read something here because this is from the Odyssey. I've been reading Homer's The Odyssey. This is the edition that I've got. Okay. So get your coffee ready, get your drink ready. Raise it. We're going to be raising it high here in a second to the Wolfpack song. Okay. So you're definitely going to want to do that. So make sure you got it. You only have a little bit of time, right? And instead of right here, so Odysseus is going and he's on a raft and he's going out. He had to make this raft and Poseidon is really ticked off at him. And he's sitting there and waves are coming down and it's going crazy. And he's scared, right? He's scared. And he says right here, he said, so long as the beams hold together in their fastenings, I will stay and endure my affliction. But when the wave shatters my raft, I'll swim. There is no better plan. While he was pondering these things in his heart and spirit, the earth-shaker Poseidon caused a great wave to rise, awesome and savage and overhanging. And Poseidon drove the wave on him, as when a powerful wind scatters a heap of dried straw, and some of it blows here, some there. Even so, the wave scattered the long beams of the raft. But Odysseus rode on a single plank, driving it as though it was a racehorse, and he discarded the clothes that the divine Calypso had given him. Immediately he tried the veil beneath his breast and threw himself headlong into the sea. He spread out his arms, eager to swim, and talked about how he's looking death oftentimes in the face. And as I was reading that in the passages that go after that, I'm sorry that I was kind of struggling. I don't have my glasses on. But the thing is that it talks about all these hardships that he's going through and the difficulties that he's going through. And he's resolved. He's resolved that he's going to stand firm, that he's going to ride on that raft as long as he can. But even if the raft goes away, he's going to keep on trucking. He's going to give it everything he's got. He's going to swim with all the waves coming down. And I thought not only about my own life, but I thought about you. I thought about all of you. I think about you guys all the time. But I thought about you guys. And I thought, it's crazy because I know that as everyday folks, right, the Johnny Q, Sally Sue's, living and loving in flyover country, the people who've been misrepresented, maligned for a very, very long time, the Main Street folks, the everyday Americans, you are the people who tune into the show, and you are the reason why I commit like this and do so much, including my children, because I'm one of you. We are in this together, okay? But because that's the case, I know that we go through crazy things, and I don't know what you're going through today. I don't know what's going on in your mind. I don't know, if a family member came down sick, if a family member died, if a friend is no longer a friend for political reasons, if maybe, the lockdowns have you lonely, if you've been more depressed than ever, if maybe, in fact, you've considered suicide, and I hope you have not. But we're living through tumultuous times, and I'm here to tell you, we have a raft that is not made with human hands, and it's not a raft. We have a great ark. We have a great ark, and we are part of it, and the one at the helm is our Lord and Savior, and we'll be fine. We will be okay. We're in this together. And no matter the waves, no matter how hard it is, no matter how difficult it is, whether at your work, whether in your home, whether in your marriage, whether with your kids, whether with your finances, no matter what it is, no matter how hard it is, hold fast. Hold fast. Because it's salvation. And not only that, we have to simply trust. We have to trust God, don't we? And so we are going to show not only that we trust him, but that we believe fervently. That we say, you will not only protect us, you will inspire us and motivate us and empower us to give it the best we got every single day. No matter if you're at work, no matter you're at school, no matter if you're at home doing dishes or doing laundry. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You're a child of the King. You're a child of the King. And if you're not, I hope that today you make that decision. You make that decision to take a knee for Jesus, because it is powerful and it is essential, in fact. It's essential. And it is the only thing that will get us out of this problem. And it's going to make you the best you that God meant for you to be. And that's what this program is about, trying to work together so that we can all, through God, we can bring this to realization, not only for ourselves, but for the entire world. So here we go. Make sure to get that coffee raised high, guys. Yeah. Yes, you are part of the wolf pack, Shirley. I love these little dancers. If you've got a video of raising it high, you got a picture, send it to us. Until then, straight to the dome. Ow! At the sun. Come on, kids. Look at that guy. Look at him. Look at him. Look at her. Straight to the dome. Hallelujah. Come on. Nothing's going to get us down. Yeah. I love you guys. And I love my little guy. I love all those people, but man, of all those people in that video, I must say, that little handsome dude, that little dude dancing, the littlest guy, that is little Louie. That is little Lou. I love my dude. And I love you guys. Very, very grateful. Very, very grateful. By the way, I know this is kind of a weird thing. Have any of you guys seen The Social Dilemma, the docudrama film? Have you guys seen that? If so, what are your thoughts? One of the listeners reached out to me, I think it was Friday. Talked to me about The Social Dilemma. I have not seen it yet. I plan on it. And it has some people in there, Tristan Harris and others that I have cited before when talking about ways to break free from internet addiction, because that's one of the things that he does. And he talks about that. He used to be an ethicist, I believe, for Google. He was one of the ethicists that they had. And he talks about it. And one of the things, a lot of people don't know this, if you struggle with your phone and you want to get off of your phone, which is, to me, in my opinion, is probably one of the most essential things if you're trying to get your life right. If you're trying to find time for prayer, find time for family, find time for fitness, for cleaning your home, whatever it is, you're trying to find time. If you're trying to sleep at night, then, you know, the number one culprit is that phone. It is. And your any screen time at all. And one of the things that you can do, and in fact, he encourages you to do, and others encourage you to do who are trying to help people free themselves from the bondage, because it is addiction. It's addiction. Like, it kind of makes me mad when everybody makes fun of people with certain addictions that they've got and things that they struggle with in their life. And yet you can go and find these people are online for like 10 hours a day. And it's like, dude, is that your job? No. I'm just sharing, memes of what I'm eating. And I'm like, well, there might be numerous problems here, but the truth is you're obviously addicted. No, I'm not. I could stop. Then why don't you try? Well, I don't want to. Yeah. So says the heroin addict. Like you're no different. You're a person. It's a different kind of addiction. But the idea that you are not addicted is nuts. But they say if you want to break free from that, one of the very first things you can do without having to do anything else, one of the first things, and it's dramatic, in fact, is turn your screen to grayscale. Turn to grayscale. Because they do psychological studies to figure out and manipulative things to figure out, right, what kind of colors and the spectrum of light and stuff that's going to be tantalizing to the brain and shoots off all the fireworks so that all those amazing chemicals are coming down and making you feel good, making you feel great. Okay? And so, let's see here. I'm going to do this. I want to switch over to the news. I'm going to switch over to the news. Let's see what I got. Okay. There we go. So the thing is that if you switch it over to grayscale, it's going to be much, 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 much better. It's true. And you'll see dramatic stuff within the first 24 to 48 hours. You're going to find yourself reaching for your phone much less. It's going to be irritating at first. It may be irritating forever, but the thing is it's one of the things that helps. It's dramatic. And then if you do it for a long time, there was a time I did it for like a couple months. And I remember when I turned it back onto color, which is it's a tough thing if you use your phone for photos. You really would need to put it back on color. But the thing is, when you do that, you will see how really unnatural the colors are. I mean, it's like they're weird in the way how vivid and bright they are, right? It's just kind of a weird, it's a weird thing, and it's almost overwhelming. And the other one is Black Mirror. You know, have you guys seen Black Mirror? So these two films, and what are your thoughts on it? The Social Dilemma and the Black Mirror. Because I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't watch a lot of them. And I haven't been watching a lot of documentaries for a while, but those are two, I don't even know if they're documentaries, they're work of fiction, but they're relevant to kind of predictive programming and things, signs of the times. Oh, wait, okay. This should have been in an earlier thing. Do you boast about your fitness? Watch out, you'll unavoidably become right-wing. Maybe you'll become more right-wing. You know, if you're somebody who actually cares about fitness and you're caring about your life and your physique and stuff, there's a good possibility that you will, right? Or you're at least going to care about it more, because the left has been completely taken over by people who say that it doesn't matter, you know, if you're, 900 pounds. You could be Batman. You could be Superman. You might be bedridden. You might be, having all sorts of problems and diseases and everything else because of this. But the truth is that, you're still special. And because you're special, why couldn't you be a superhero? It might be hard to run after people, but it might be hard to tackle them. It might be hard to, wrap your arms around anything at all, or even to move them. But you know what? You're fine. And so if the left does that, then you will inevitably find yourself gravitating more to, sanity and stuff. Not just sanity, but health. So anyway, but we already talked about that. So, okay, here, let's see here. Let's see. I'm going to go back in the comments section here. Do we accept Canadian money? Yes, we do. Do we accept any kind of money? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Let's see here. Okay. So kangaroos look like real cut guys with tiny camel heads. talking about the kangaroo that was scratching at the window and doing the chest bumps with his reflection. Really, really, really scary, by the way. That kangaroo just wants to fight. Yeah, I think I read that one already. Let's see. This is the first Roo story seen here, but there are a couple from 2015 and 2016. It's true. I don't think we've talked about kangaroos at all since we've done this. So that is the first time. Yeah. Someone asked, do I see what happened in St. Clair, Michigan? They tossed a big firework into this guy's living room, then tried to get one of his car. I don't know anything about that. Oh, they were targeting a Trump guy for his ideas. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, they've been using fireworks. I mean, they use it as a weapon. I think it should be a felony, by the way. I do. I think it should be like attempted. Because the thing is, you can have serious, severe burns from these fireworks, man. You can have serious, severe burns, and that's why they do it. They don't do it just, they're not out there just making noises. And you can make a complaint if they're out there making noises. You can make a complaint about noise pollution. You could disturbing the peace. Well, we're here, yelling through microphones and playing loud music in front of this guy's house. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. But if they shoot a firework, it should be, in my opinion, it should be a felony. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys. Tell me if I'm wrong. Let's see. Let's see. If you have a PayPal account, it'll allow you to change currency. I'm unsure with Cash App, but I'll check. Yeah, I don't know about Cash App. Bethany says, eat whole foods and move more. That's it. Drink water only. That's not a good idea. That's not a good idea. Don't do that. Wait, what kind of water are you drinking? Are you supporting all that corporate crap? The fake water? I only drink the real water. The one that has that Propel stuff in it. That's the real water. That's the way God made it. A little coffee, bam. A little bit of coffee, yeah. A little bit of coffee, maybe a big honking jug. Maybe. Oh, someone asked, what if I want to give him actual Canadian money? We have $2 coins. You got to send it to me in the mail, dude. You got to send it to me in the mail, homie. Yeah. I'd love to have some $2 coins. I know what those are. Those are toonies, bro. Those are toonies. I know what your loonies and toonies are. I lived in Vancouver, man. I lived outside Vancouver. Someone said, I've never been to a concert. What? What? Who has ever been to a concert? I don't even believe you. I don't believe that you've never been to a concert. What are you talking about? but I'd certainly go to his. You know, the little bugger, the little bugger with the little guitar. What was that, by the way? What was that little guy? My friend gave me a DMB tickets. What was that? For my birthday that I was supposed to go to last summer. So much for that. So much for that. With the Ticketmaster vaccine crap, guess I'll be a concert virgin. That's a sad thing, by the way. I've been to a whole bunch. I used to do AM/FM radio, and so I would get press passes, and I'd go to different shows. Went to different, music festivals where they'd have, in fact, hundreds of bands play, everything like that. See, I'm howling and then heading to hang with my madre. Have an amazing show and a beautiful day. Wolfpack and leader, dude. Yes. Yes, man. I'm grateful for you. I'm super duper grateful for you. Yes, a big heart, American flag, super buff arm, and a profile picture of me in my wolf outfit. Oh, man, we love you guys. We love you guys. Okay. Apparently it's a 0.3 to 0.2. Would it be 0.2 to 0.3 for exchange fee? I will see if there is anything else we can use for foreign currencies. Okay. Gotcha. Let's see. Shed your container, transcend, go into the light. You got to do it. You got to do it, Ramen. You got to do it. And when you're talking about wah with a baby, Ramen. Shed your container, transcend, go into the light. What are you talking about? Are you a weirdo? Are you one of those weirdos, dude, who shows up and talks in these, like, magical kind of Buddhist cone crap, one hand clapping crap? Is that what you are? Please tell me it's not true. Please tell me it's not true, man. Let's see. Yeah, apparently Zero Hedge wrote about the guy with the fireworks here. Cambridge Analytica algorithms created Trump's cult. It's hilarious, man. It's hilarious. And same thing with Divided We Fall. Alt-right media picked up where Cambridge Analytica algorithms left off, creating Trump's cult. That's the weird thing. Then it's a failure because the alt-right is not very popular. I don't mean to... It's only popular if you guys don't know the distinction between someone who's a neocon, somebody who is a rhino, somebody who is a right-wing Americana populist, a paleo-conservative, a paleo-libertarian. If you guys don't understand the distinction between that, all of these different categories, and I've only got started, Tea Party patriot folks, if you don't understand the difference between those and what it means to be alt-right, then, and if you want to try to say, well, alt-right is anybody on the right, it's kind of, that's where maybe it started that way. If you want to try to play that game instead of the way that it's evolved, then you're sounding kind of like people who say, well, the rainbow flag is really not about anything gay. I'm going to put it in front of my house. You're going to end up looking as dumb, dude. He didn't have to pander to low IQ rural populations for votes. I don't mean to be rude, but you don't want to get into an IQ conversation. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. No, that's not really a good left-wing technique anyway. It's not really a good left-wing technique anyway. And he didn't have to pander to it because he's an elitist New World Order POS. That's why. That's why, because he's a child feeling upper person, right? He likes to, wiggle his little paws on little kids and little girls and sniff people's hair. He likes to do that. And he knows that people like you, he knows low information voters, people like you, the Mockingbird type. You guys are basically, you're one of those NPCs. It's what you are. I mean, nothing you've said so far is very original. It's not very original. And talking about pandering to low IQ rural Republicans for so long, conservatives now only contribute 30% of GOP. Number one, that's like wildly dumb. You say, yeah, conservatives. What do you mean? Are you making a distinction between conservatives and populists? By the way, is that what you're doing? Oh, you're a moderate. Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you. Moderate. What does moderate mean? You're a neocon? You're a neocon? Nice try. And look, I mean, you guys, what are you? Are you a William Crystal guy? Is that what you are? You William Crystal guy? You think weapons of mass destruction? Were you out there? Were you one of those people? Weapons of mass destruction. Mueller is dope. Were you one of those people? Look like a fool, by the way. You know, we're intuitively brilliant. You guys, not so much. You guys are masters of the universe. And the thing is, you know, your day is coming, by the way. It's already here. I mean, it's so obvious. It's glaringly obvious, the kind of shenanigans that went on. Which is why I've talked about it so much. I don't waste my time much. I say, look, I've got probably 30 hours, 40 hours of documentary evidence and testimony and statistical analysis of things that are not just, by the way, improbable, but statistically impossible. So you're not talking to a low IQ guy. Just letting you know that now, buddy. Just letting you know that, buddy Slice. Oh, I refute your act. He's saying original? LOL. Yeah, you can't refute what I said with actual information. You have capital letters at the beginning of every word. What's up with that? Are you writing headlines? What are you doing? You copy and pasting headlines? What are you doing? You're a weirdo, and you're the one busting on people with low IQs, man. That's a weird way to start your stuff. Maybe it's stylistically your thing. Yeah. And Cambridge Analytica, dude, it's hilarious that you're even falling back on that idea. It was not very good. In fact, Newsmax and I'll just stick with Newsmax. Newsmax hasn't changed one bit. The only reason Newsmax has gotten any better is because Fox News has committed suicide. That's why. And it happens to any organization. Look at what happened earlier to the Weekly Standard. You know, what is Cambridge Analytica some kind of magic bullet theory for you guys? What a joke. What a joke, man. What a joke. Weird equals low IQ? No, it's just bad grammar. And you can say weird all day long, but dude, so far, you ain't doing too good, man. You ain't doing too good. Man. But yeah, you're welcome to keep on going. Social media wasn't kind to low IQ rural populations. It's not kind to anybody who doesn't accept the New World Order. I mean, it's just true. It's not kind to anybody. And this is how stupid it is, by the way. This is how stupid, because he says, divided we fall. I'm not gonna deal too much with him. He can say whatever he wants. I deal with his type all the time. And it's an easy thing. These guys are a dime a dozen. They're like Mockingbird people. They repeat the exact same talking point, and they think that that's like edgy. They think that it's original and cool. And they're like, dude, yeah, man. I mean, he's probably the kind of guy, you know, super pumped up about BLM, super pumped up about, you know, all the rainbow crap all over the place with corporations. Probably loving it. Probably thinks that it's a conspiracy. All those videos of Joe Biden, you know, doing touchy-feely on the nips of little kids. Probably thinks it's a conspiracy. That's not real. That's not real, man. Kind of like, you know, all of the crazy crap you can see on video, or the statistical analysis of all the shenanigans, of all of the fraud that's going on with the election. That's not real. Me no see no nothing. Me no hear nothing. I spin them like a dreidel. I spin y'all like a dreidel, son. It's easy to do. And it's kind of a waste of time. Yeah. It's funny. You should have moved out. And see, this is the last thing I'll say. It's hilarious. I only parrot Newsmax, AON, and Parler narratives. Here's the thing. I've been using those narratives, dude, since 2002. Since 2002. You're a dummy. Your magic crystal ball doesn't work. Yeah, Sister Cleo, the Psychic News Network. You're a failure. You're a total failure. You can go back and you can see, you know, what are the narratives? What are the principles and ideas that underlie the show? In fact, I have a book list. I have a book list that I've provided, quite extensive, talking about civilizational theory, cultural theory, mass communications theory, ethics, things like that, psychology, science, a lengthy list of books that have informed the life of my mind over the years. I think you'd be surprised, in fact, by some of the things you saw. But OAN's come way later, and I have never cited, by the way, not one source on this show from OAN. No articles from them, I don't watch their stuff. I don't watch TV news. Don't watch it at all. So again, you actually don't know who you're talking about. And it's a sad thing. It's one of those things. And guys, I hope that this is just an example for you, right? That you can sit there, OAN and Newsmax didn't, yeah, exactly. You know, so you sit there and you go, okay, so the idea, Newsmax may have existed as a magazine, but the idea that I was a big fan of Newsmax magazine, right, or One American News, wasn't even aware of it, and it's irrelevant anyway. I think I follow one person from either place, but not cited one time. You don't even know the places that I cite for the people here. You have no idea. You have no idea. And you say, oh, so now I sound like OAN. Well, you sound like them. So, are you serious, bro? Are you serious, champ? Well, good for them. Good for them. I've been at this dude for a long time, Home Slice. Get a better argument, man. Do better. Because you're sounding pretty stinking dumb on a show. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know. If you want to throw yourself, into the short bus, that's your prerogative. I got it. You want to throw yourself under it? I wouldn't want to. I would strongly advise you against it. But the thing is, you want to go down that road, that's fine. That's fine. Again, dude, like a dreidel. Like a dreidel. Like a dreidel. Easy to do. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Ain't no thing. Louder with Crowder wannabe. Dude, I've never talked to him. I don't watch his stuff, ever. You have no idea. Why don't you go actually do some homework and read? Why don't you go back and read, or just peruse it? Just peruse it and see the list of people that have informed my view of political economy, culture, civilization, psychology, science. I think you'd be surprised. I don't have any popular pundits on there. Zero. They're academic. It's the reason why I won the top at convocations at my college. It's the reason why I won the Political Science Award. In fact, earning it 3 years in a row. So why? Because I'm not chump change. Because I don't play in the kiddie pool. And that's why people tune in. And it's also why right now, I'm sorry to tell you, I got to tune you out. There we go. Okay. Was the angry poll worker in Georgia that went viral last month the same guy in the jacket who took the handoff? It's a good question. It's a good question here. We're going to go ahead and see it.
The people doing the handoff, and we talked about that. Big hair lady, blonde braids lady, and then guy in the jacket. This video today is going to be a quick video about guy in the jacket. Let's take a closer look here. Remember a couple weeks ago when I posted that video of the Georgia vote?
Yeah, remember this guy right here? Remember that guy? He got really mad. He was one of those people, he's sitting there and he's looking at all the ballots, and for some reason he's getting really upset at what he's seeing. He's getting really upset. Sitting it down. He's doing that. And what yeah, so let's go hear what happens here. We saw that video.
Remember that, Rap Boy? And he was going crazy. He was throwing the ballots. He was mad.
Man,
he was separating things. And then the fact checkers came and they were like,
maybe he was mad.
Ballot.
Man, there's a lot of Biden votes, dude. I'm ticked off. Maybe. Oh my gosh, man. It's hilarious.
Like, he was crumbling something else up. Ballots are long, and they go into this explanation, and it's like takes you off the whole point of the article. Fast forward to right now.
Yeah, let's see this.
Think
what's going to go on here?
Suspect number 3.
Wow, look at this guy. Do we think? Oh, okay, well, you got that. Yeah, is it? Oh, yeah, and he's got the yellow wristband. Now, do they all have that? Do they all have? We'll do some stop action. Nah, dude, this is probably the same guy, dude. It's the same guy, and what ends up happening here? Let's see. And by the way, who is this?
We got everyone, by the way,
Essential
looks
Flex.
like brought their own mask from home. They're not like they're issuing the mask for everybody. So everyone's got their own unique mask. Blue, designs, black, and his is gray. Gray mask, yes. Gray shirt, yes. And then that vest looks like it's like a fuzzy.
Yeah, okay, so you guys see this? Same guy. Because there was a handoff with this weird little thing.
You know what I mean?
Looking super shady.
There's a T-shirt, which is
looking
t-shirt
super
fabric,
shady. Good
that
call by the way
vest
there.
is a little bit of a fuzz.
Good call there,
And then
Essential
you look
Flex.
here, a little bit of a fuzz to it. See that, Richard?
Yeah.
And here's the kicker, or one of the kickers. There's multiple kickers in this video. The jacket on the back of his chair.
Yeah.
is the jacket I think he's wearing.
Blam. So the dude who's getting involved. Oh, okay, yeah. And by the way, this is a good reminder. If people go, Jeremiah, why would you say that Joe Biden was acting inappropriate with the ladies? Why would you say that he's, putting his hands in awkward positions and stuff? Because you got to understand, man. You got to understand what you're dealing with. You got to understand who this guy is, what this guy's willing to do. And I'll tell you this much. If Home Slice did that around the waist of my daughter or my wife, I would have socked him in the mouth. I would have socked him in the mouth and said, dude, what are you trying to do? Get in their pants, you sicko? What are you trying to do? You trying to do that power thing you got going on? What do you got going on? What's the idea? How many of you guys, if you're in a group picture with a lady who's not your wife or your girlfriend, if you end up doing that, okay, and you're in a picture with them, how many of you guys wrap your arms around them or sniff their hair and things like that, like this? How many of you do it? We'll step out. I want you to be able to see it so you can make the decision for yourself. Let's see.
Foremost to my perfect wife.
Don't tell me what Can I with Jess alone?
Yeah.
We met before. It's hard to forget those.
No, you see that? You see how he grabs her face? And she's like, I don't think so, son. And look at the dad's eyes. The dad ain't having it, man. The dad ain't having it.
Eyes.
You see that? She's like, I don't think so. Oh, you look at her eyes. Do you see them things? And he grabs her chin. That's invasive, dude.
Wait, no, come on.
Okay.
Come on,
All right, so we'll
right over here. There we go.
Right there. Right there. How many of you guys put your hands around women's waists like that? How many? I don't. Heck nah. Never, dude. Never, ever, never, never, never. He's a real sicko. And a man in power, too, doing this thing. A man in power doing this thing. This is all power move. It's all a power move.
You can put it away. Is that what you said to my mom? It was wonderful. My mom loved it.
1 minute, Angel. Do you want to hold it? Here, lollipop. It's going to come in your mouth. Just look at the camera, and you're going to have lollipop. It's going to go in your mouth.
Dude, that's like right beneath it. Dude, by the way, I don't want to get too graphic, but look at this. Look at that little hand. Look where his paw is, man. On this lady. I mean, that's like up on the rib cage, dude, right under the, the thing. Right over the thing. Right under it. It has to be uncomfortable. If you did that to a lady, it would be, you are definitely trying to hook it up fat. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, he's trying to hook it up fat with these ladies.
Keep going. You're going to stand right next to me. There you go. And then we're going to have...
There you go.
Got it? Okay.
By the way, did you see the way he began? He made a choice. He has his arm like that. Totally normal, totally respectable, everything else. It's kind of like, it happens. It's the way you do it. But then it's like, you got to have the Jaws music almost. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, it's just gross. It's just gross, man. Here we go. Oh, look at this. Oh, yeah. She doesn't want that. She doesn't want that.
Do you remember what I told you?
Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, he's got his thumb wiggling. Dude, if you wiggle your thumb, I don't even need to see this crap anymore. I don't even need to see this crap anymore. It's terrible. But this is the kind of stuff that these people, they're like, oh, he wouldn't do anything inappropriate. They're a bunch of robots, dude. He is a good man. A good Catholic man. No, he's not. He's not a good man. He's a sicko. And by the way, for all those people who believe that there's no shenanigans, here we go. Agents raid home in Maricopa County in voter data theft investigation. Wow, it's kind of weird. What do they do? What do they find? Was it no evidence? Is that what they found? No evidence. There's nothing to see. Oh, no. They had 8 hard drives, 3 computers, and a bag of USB sticks. Kind of funny. Kind of funny. In the comments, Justin wrote, Biden should sue cuties for plagiarism. Dude. Oh my gosh. I love you guys, man. Some of those comments always take me off guard. They always do, man. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. Let's see here. What does it say? Cherie says, if someone not my husband grabbed me like that, I was taught to knee first and then run. Look, that's a good strategy. That's a good strategy, man. You know, let's see. Many political leaders are involved in satanic sex rituals. They're creepy little perverts. It's true, man. It's true. I think we're going to see more and more and more of that. I think we're going to see more and more of it being exposed, right? It being brought to the light. Man, I've been on to this for a long time, man. On to this for a long time. And it's only going to get more. As I said, you're going to have more and more and more because the cat's out of the bag. And especially, dude, if Biden gets in, it's going to be on like Donkey Kong. It's going to be on like Donkey Kong. Let's see here. Yeah, somebody in the comments says, Gateway Pundit, LOL. Yeah, you know what's funny? Is that this right here, do you think Gateway Pundit raided the home in Maricopa County? Yeah, Jim Hoft and Joe Hoft show up. Oh, we're coming on in. Don't think so. Don't think so, champ. Yeah. And again, look at the moving targets, dude. Look at the way they move the goalposts. They say, well, you're all right. And then you're like, no, I'm not even close to alt-right. Here's why. Oh, well, you know, you're low IQ. Well, why don't you go read the book list that I provided to you and see, well, what kind of books does the guy read? What level of reading does he have? What kind of sources does he cite? Well, you're citing One America News and Newsmax. Never cited them. Don't watch it. I don't watch the cable television. I don't watch any of that crap. Well, you're parroting that. I've been saying this for way before I even knew what those organizations were. Well, you're just like Steven Crowder. I don't watch Steven Crowder. And Steven Crowder doesn't believe all the things I believe. More than that, I'm not sure that he's read the books that I've read. More than that, no offense. I'm not meaning to be offensive. Maybe he has. Maybe he's into film theory and mass comm theory. Maybe he's into civilizational studies and he reads tomes. Maybe that's what he does. He doesn't talk about the great animal uprising of 2020. We do here. In my view, comes from Catholic social teaching. So good luck. Again, one after another, just blam, 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 out of the park. This is the way these people operate. And it's easy, guys. Do not be distracted by them. And more than that, do not be disheartened. Do not be disheartened. Let's see here. No, yeah, okay. So apparently there was a situation. There was a situation where, is there a video of it? Got to see the video. Okay, yeah. Here's the Sarah Gal. Let's see here. It's a video of the rally. And by the way, did you guys see that? The rally in Georgia? I was of the persuasion that I didn't even think that Trump should have done it. I understand why he did. And even maybe for the lady, but for Perdue, no way. For Perdue, no way. Not after it was outed that he was in a Zoom call talking to people about how he's going to be better under Biden, and that McConnell and Biden are buddies, and that they go back a long way, and that they're going to be, you know, doing a lot of great things with the administration and the Senate. They're going to work together, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be way easier than dealing with someone like Trump. And you say, well, okay, we kind of know where you are on that, buddy. Huh? Oh. And so, you know, to sit there, sorry about that. You know, to sit there and say, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to promote this guy. I mean, maybe he's done a number of great things. But, you know, the question was, you know, should he put him, you know, on the spot a little bit and let him know, you know, I'm aware of what you said. But he didn't. He didn't. But the people that were there let Fox know what they thought. They let Fox News know. And we've told you guys, man, cut the cable. In fact, I've encouraged you guys. I'm a guy, I like Neil Postman. I'm influenced by Neil Postman and Marshall McLuhan and their media ecology and their views of mass communication. And I say, if you really want to understand the news and you're wanting to get serious news, don't watch it on cable television. Don't watch TV news. Don't watch commercialized news commercial news. Because what's going to happen is, number one, you're stuck with these super tiny time slots to talk about really important matters. You don't have the freedom and the flow to say, well, I'm going to, I can go ahead and I can navigate for as long as I want on any given topic. And instead, you're up against a break where you're going to have to go from talking about nuclear disarmament. You're going to talk about counterterrorism or whatever you're talking about that's going on in our country, riots and looting and everything else, racial justice issues. You're going to talk about any of those issues, and you're like, well, you got about a minute. And everybody's putting on their face, and everyone's trying to do their shtick, to put on the Ken and Barbie smiles. And most of these people aren't even journalists or theorists anyways. Most of these people have no idea what they're talking about. They know how to read script. Man. And then they're going to go to a commercial break where you're going to hear a parable about the idea that if you don't brush your teeth, you're not going to get the hot chick at the dance club. And then something about some disease that you might have with a whole bunch of side effects. It's bad for business. That's why I've said we don't put stock here in television news. We don't put stock in anything to do with televised debates. They're a joke. It's pageantry. And so if you're looking for posture, if you're looking to see, well, how does a politician posture himself or herself? How do they do that? Maybe a debate would be worthwhile. How good are they at zingers and comebacks? Well, you can watch the televised debate. How much do they know about a topic and what are they planning on doing? Maybe we should go back to, a Lincoln Douglas styled debate-a-thon. And maybe even something that's just strictly over audio. If you want to do it that way, that has its own pros and cons. But at least if it's done on radio, you get it. But these people are done. They're done with Fox News. So let's see what they got to say.
Fox News does not call the election.
Why?
No,
Why did y'all turn on everybody?
Yeah, we trusted you. You guys are traitors. And you can see it in their numbers, man. Their numbers have tanked. I can only hope, and we need to be part of a movement that gets people into the world of saying that don't just navigate from one place to another. In fact, that's why I told you guys last week, I said, don't put all your stock in the idea that you're going to go from Fox News to One American News or Fox News to Newsmax. Don't do this. You're riding a wave of mass comm that is an establishment legacy media wave, and say, honestly, get back into books. Start reading again. Read the greats, read the classics, read people that have actually made an impact on the world and that factor in history and statistics. And not just simply what's current events and what did this person say or that person say. And then get it lost in that blur that occurs because you're focused only on the here and now. Every day is a new day. I remember Bill O'Reilly years ago when I was younger. In our home, we had Fox News. And so I remember watching Bill O'Reilly, and there was a time, I'm trying to remember what it was. It was a certain case. I don't know if it involved Jesse Jackson or Mark Rich or who. But he was on that case for like a month, and people were getting irritated. And I remember I said, he's going against the grain of the medium itself. Television news is not suitable for that. It makes it really tough. The best you got maybe, going on to some independent local channel, some beatnik music and everything, some weird symbols on the screen and everything. And then it's like, welcome to Intense Thoughts, where we go deep into various issues. And if you want to tune into that, you and the 5 other people, because the medium itself isn't good for the message. And in fact, that medium is itself the message. Journalists. Brian Stelter, he was upset. He was upset that the people at the Trump rally, that they were really upset at journalists. He says, no journalist should ever be subjected to abuse from rally goers. And here's the thing, man. Journalists, that's a weird way of spelling uniparty hatchet men. It's true. It's true. These are uniparty hatchet men. Most of them, by the way, are not journalists. Just because they are on CNN does not make them a journalist. In fact, Brian Stelter himself has said that it's not the role of investigating that falls on him. And that these people on this network, it's not their responsibility to do investigations. And I'm like, dude, that's true. People complained and said, I can't believe that. And I said, well, it's super easy. It's super easy to believe it because he's not even a journalist. He's not functioning as one. Yeah. The smartest man in the room is joining Sidney Powell's team. This is over at AmericanThinker.com. Andrea Widberg. In her Georgia complaint, Sidney Powell included the declaration of Navid Kashvar's Nia, an expert witness who stated under oath that there was a massive computer fraud in the 2020 election, all of it intended to secure a victory for Joe Biden. The Dr. Kashvar's Nia, his name may not mean a lot to you, but it is one of the weightiest names in the world when it comes to sniffing out cybersecurity problems. We know this because the New York Times ran one of its Sunday long-form articles about a massive multi-million-dollar fraud that a talented grifter ran against the American intelligence and military communities. And this doctor just happened to be one of the few people who comes off looking good. They said of him, quote, those who worked with him said he was always the smartest person in the room. In doing cybersecurity and technical counterintelligence work for the CIA, NSA, and FBI, he had spent decades connecting top secret dots. After several months of working with Mr. Courtney, he began connecting those dots too, and he did not like where they led. Well, he's done it here too. And so here's what he had to say. He said, number one, Hammer and Scorecard, they are real. It's not a hoax, and both are used to manipulate election outcomes. Number two, Dominion, ES&S, Seidel, and Smartmatic are all valuable to fraud and vote manipulation. And the mainstream media reported on these vulnerabilities in the past. We've shown you, in fact, the footage that different news outlets that they have shown in the past about these very groups and about these very vulnerabilities that we're talking about now. You want to know what's amazing is that nowhere have they ever said how they were fixed. So we have examples of high-profile Democrats making the same claims that we're making about the vulnerabilities of these systems and about the way that this can be manipulated, about the origin of these systems, how they played out in other countries. And we see mainstream media doing the exact same thing. In fact, numerous times over numerous years. And what ends up happening, it goes in their favor. And when it goes in their favor, all of a sudden, they are like, oh no, it's perfectly fine. There's nothing to see here. It's always been dope. As if we don't have the ability to go online. These people, they don't understand. And that's part of the medium is the message. They don't understand to what extent these technologies have actually already encapsulated them, completely surrounded them, permeated society in such a way that the average Joe can go, well, did you say something different last year? What about your tweets? What about the news? Did the news say something different? Yeah, it's unbelievable. Dominion has been used in other countries to forge election results. Totally true. Dominion's corporate structure is deliberately confusing to hide relationships with Venezuela, China, and Cuba. Dominion machines are easily hackable. Dominion memory cards with cryptographic key access to the systems were stolen in 2019. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Although he had no access to the machines, the good doctor has looked at available data about the election and the vote results. And based on the information, statistical analysis, number one, the count in the disputed states, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, and Georgia, show electronic manipulation. We've shown this repeatedly. And that's why we say, statistically speaking, it's not only an improbability, which is nuanced, by the way. We're doing quantitative analysis here and saying that it's not just an improbability. If you're saying it's the impossibility of this, and you say, show us wrong. Show us how it's wrong. And the best that people have got is there's no such thing as evidence. We're not looking at it. You say, no, it's actually right here. And if this is the claim, and if you don't want to try to falsify the claim, well, I guess we are by default king of the hill. By default. That's the whole idea of peer review. You got something you don't agree with, dispute it. And by disputing it, you would have to go in and say, can this be replicated? Is there another more reasonable explanation? Occam's razor, that thing? Find out. Find out. But to sit there and do, hear no evil, see no evil, to do that crap, pretending to be deaf and dumb and blind, okay, good for you. Good for you. You lose. The simultaneous decision in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona, Nevada, and Georgia to pretend to halt counting votes was unprecedented and demonstrated a coordinated effort to collude toward desired results. And you say, what are the odds, by the way? Not only that they would have a simultaneous decision to say, we're going to halt it, but then they would make it such that the people in the room that were allowed anywhere near the ballots, that all those people were told to leave except for a core group, a small group. And in that small group, lo and behold, every single time we look into this, guess what we find? We find a bunch of Democrats and activists and people who worked with the campaign. By the way, one of them worked on the campaign of Kamala Harris. Wow, ain't that sweet? Unbelievable. Number 3, 1 to 2% of votes were forged in Biden's favor. 4, optical scanners were set to accept unverified, unvalidated ballots. 5, the scanners failed to keep records for audits, an outcome that must have been deliberately programmed. 6, the stolen cryptographic key, which applied to all voting systems, was used to alter vote counts. 7, the favorable votes pouring in after hours for Biden could not be accounted for by a Democrat preference for mailed-in ballots. They demonstrate manipulation. For example, in Pennsylvania. So he's taking a counter argument and he's cutting it off ahead of time. He's saying, look, we know that they're gonna say this. Here's how we can prove this otherwise. He says, take example, Pennsylvania. It was physically impossible. And again, this is one of those things that's like, it's physically impossible per the manual of the company itself regarding the machines. It's physically impossible to feed 400,000 ballots into machines within 2 to 3 hours. That doesn't matter. 400,000 votes doesn't matter. And you say, well, yeah, because even if there was no problem at all, even if there was zero problem, and you're dumping it in, and you're doing it, and there's no, nothing clogging up the machines, none of that stuff, and you don't have to redo anything, which would be amazing. That in and of itself would be practically unprecedented in 2 to 3 hours. And so even if it was running completely smoothly, the idea that 400,000 ballots are going to be dumped into those machines in Pennsylvania, argument don't work. Period. You can't get around it. You can't get around it. And so, good luck, man. Prove us wrong, by the way. And again, people who sit there and say, well, I don't have to. They're starting to sound like the very people that they make fun of when it comes to other controversies regarding numbers, regarding the scientific method. They start sounding like Phidias, by the way. I don't need any evidence. I have my faith system. And that's it. It's all I've got. And it doesn't even have to make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. That's it. I said, look, that is a kind of childlike faith, I suppose. Maybe a child with, some serious issues, and your faith is in the wrong thing. Number 8, Dominion used Chinese parts, and there's reason to believe that China, Venezuela, Cuba interfered in the election. And some of these, by the way, I wouldn't put that one super high. Not yet. Not yet. Although I've shown videos where they've talked about, and there's been a whistleblower, in fact, a royal over there, that's talked about the printing that was done of American ballots in China. And there's even whistleblowers that recorded the conversation. There was a hammer and scorecard cyber attack that altered votes in battleground states and then forwarded the results to Seidel servers in Frankfurt, Germany, to avoid detection. Number 10, the systems failed to produce any auditable results. And that is a real problem. That is a real problem. Yeah. So when we catch these people, when we catch them and we see what they're doing, and then we see the Republicans who, and many of these Republicans who won, okay, many of these Republicans who won in large part because of the Trump effect, where you say, down ballot, we crushed it. Down ballot, we crushed it. And then you say, what are the odds statistically? That's a different thing. But you say, these very people that benefited from those rallies, when there were massive crowds at those rallies, was that because the senator, the congressman, and if they're a moderate, they're some kind of rhino, do you think that we're seeing this magical thing where tons of Republicans are coming out with a massive approval rating for the president, but they're coming out and they're like, yeah, your brand of conservatism, your brand of republicanism is dramatically different from the president, but he's doing the presidential thing as the leader of the Republican Party, and he's helping to boost you to assure that there will be an agenda that goes forward and that Democrats won't have that. And he does that, and you see the large crowds, and you go, they're here for me. Do you really believe that? Trump is demanding names of GOP lawmakers who said they recognize Biden as a winner of the election. Yeah. In fact, there was a, where was it here? I thought I had one. I had a list, man. I know that there's a couple different people that have put a list together. One of them, Vince James. I know he's put one together. I know some other folks have done the same thing. I thought it was in the list here. So right here, my affidavit filed in Linwood Sidney Powell lawsuit 2 weeks ago calculated that around 22% vote transfer from real Donald Trump to Joe Biden. It's a dramatic claim, by the way. Now evidence from seized Dominion machines proves my analysis correct. Trump voters were in this particular account, because of the fractional counting, 4/5 a person. In America, no. One person, one vote. And you can see it. He provides it right there to show exactly not only how he made the claim, but also what the analysis found from the server. Seized from the Dominion machines. And we're going to see a lot more. Over 20 of them have been, they're going to be there for auditing the machine, going through it. All right, done with election news. Done with election news. And look, I got to say this again as a constant reminder. We are not people who are beholden to a Trump cult, okay? We are people who recognize in the imperfect person of Donald Trump, the greatest reflection of our beliefs and values that we may have maintained the entirety of our lives. So we see it. We see in him that very thing. And we look and we go, you can look at it and say, the ideas about the border, the ideas about Americana, the ideas about jobs going overseas, the idea about sending our troops over to foreign wars. Now, did he match my beliefs entirely? No. I'm more of a crunchy con. Now, I got beliefs about proper treatment of animals, stuff like that. I'm a meat eater, but I'm also heavily influenced by Catholic social teaching. Same thing with the environment. I've got certain views about the environment, and I've got certain views on how we can deal with that. So I'm a critic of New World Order schemes, but at the same time, I'm not somebody who's like, nothing we do has an impact. I believe it's one of the reasons why I'm a new urbanist. It's one of the reasons why I believe that we should have a human-centered economy, not one that is strictly relating to cars and trucks. That's why I believe we should have more grass and trees, flowers, things like that, even in front of our own homes, colorful things. Okay, there's ways to do that, size and scale, proportion. That's why I'm into that. But through Donald Trump, you can see as a vehicle, I've compared him to an icebreaker. Yeah. I compared him to an icebreaker. And like someone said in the comment, Trump fought for me even more than Reagan did. And you look at it and you say, so as imperfect as it is, the differences that I have, the differences over involvement with Israel. Okay, I'm grateful for the peace deals. I'm not grateful for the way that Israel, even right now, may be getting us into some serious quagmire. Not a fan of that one bit. Not a fan of Zionism. Not one bit. Not a fan of, the settlements. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of the way that the Palestinians are treated. I've been very open and vocal about that, right? So we've got differences. I didn't like it when he did the mother of all bombs, the Moab, over on Syria. I was against that. I said, look, he's obviously being hoaxed. He's being hoaxed like crazy. Don't do that. But we saw within him, and maybe you've got your own disagreements, maybe with me, maybe with him. But the point is, of all the people that have ever come down the pike, of all of them, we saw in him the greatest reflection of those values that we hold dear in modern times. And more than that, the greatest fighting chance we had at making an actual difference and having our voices actually heard and not to be mocked. And so we're grateful for that. But no matter what happens, and we've said this from the beginning, we said this before the election even happened, that no matter actually what happens, we're not only glad for the last 4 years, but we're inspired, we're activated, motivated. And now we're operating, right, full speed ahead, pedal to the metal. That's what we're doing. Organizing in ways we've never organized before. Middle American radicals. And it's an amazing thing. Let's see, moving on to a different topic here. And another person says, James Marone said, Trump is the reason I'm a Republican. Same here. Same here. Yeah. Unbelievable. JL Breck says, play Richard Dawkins, show me the evidence. Yeah. Because it's kind of like, that's the thing, is we are actually showing the evidence. We're showing the evidence like crazy. And what we're having is these people who come in and say, there is no evidence. And you're like, I just provided some to you. You can go ahead and do statistical analysis. Let's find out. And it's crazy because some people will say, well, I did statistical analysis in other counties, and I found out that it went in the opposite direction. And you go, oh, so we're already on the same page that it works. Now let's do our swashbuckling. And now I can go ahead and review that, and you can go ahead and review mine. But they don't want to do that because I'll tell you, we got lots of people in the room that are going to blow it out of the water. And not only with this statistical analysis, but again, as a last kind of cherry on top, the idea that even if there was not a problem, even in those places where they can go, well, in this place it wasn't so bad, or in this place we didn't see that kind of thing. You may be in a state where they completely violated their own constitution on setting up exceptions to the legislative mandates concerning how elections are conducted. And guess what? That is the separation of power issue. So good luck. You do that, you're hosed, man. Toodaloo. And yeah, commies want a list of Trump's fans. This is what is it? Is it J.L. Ebrick? Commies want a list of Trump's fans. No one bats an eye. Trump wants a list of people who are supposed to be on his team, and everyone loses their minds. Totally 100%, man. Totally 100%. Let's see. Let's see here. Right. Okay, moving on. In Canada, in 2010, a National Film Board of Canada predictive programming documentary, Outbreak, details the government of Canada's plans for a future outbreak, COVID-19 in 2020, and how it will take care of those who refuse vaccinations for the virus by rounding them up and putting them in detention centers. Theresa Tam, FRCPC, Chinese, born 1965, is a Canadian physician and public servant who currently serves as the third Chief Public Health Officer of Canada, the head of the Public Health Agency of Canada, PHAC. So let's see. I think I got a video. Okay, we're gonna play a minute of this. We're gonna play a minute of this. Here we go. I'll step out for a second, give my voice a break. We'll be back in just a moment.
The public has to know this is one of the worst case scenarios in terms of an infectious disease outbreak, in that their cooperation is sought. If there are people who are non-compliant, there are definitely laws and public health powers that can quarantine people in mandatory settings. It's potential you could track people, put bracelets on their arms, have police and other setups to ensure quarantine is undertaken. It is better to be preemptive and precautionary and take the heat of people thinking you might be overreactionary.
Yeah, do you hear that? This scheming, by the way, and it's kind of hard. I've got it turned up all the way, and yet I'm not. I can't get any louder than that. I can't get any louder. But do you hear the way that she's saying? Look, in the art of warfare of this way, when doing social engineering and everything else, and she's using slippery words. She's got the Mr. Potato Head thing going on with that. Talking about quarantine when she's actually talking house arrest. You quarantine sick. You quarantine people who are sick. You're quarantining people who maybe they've been exposed to somebody with a deadly virus. You say, well, that person should be quarantined. But you quarantine everybody just across the board. And she's like, oh, no, that's actually a good thing. That's actually a good thing. You got to do it. And so, you have a situation where it's like, well, you're being more proactive. It'd be better to say, well, at least we're really being proactive. Yeah, any dictator can say that. It's true, isn't it? Any tyrant could say that. Every dictator, every single person who's like, yeah, we may be going overboard. We say, man, there's a lot of accidents happening. There's a lot of crimes involving vehicles. There's a lot of people, speeding through child school zones and stuff like that. And you say, okay, that's great. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to take away everybody's ability to drive. We're going to take away everybody's ability to drive. The only people who are allowed to drive are people who are that we deem essential. And they're all going to be corporate, by the way. They're going to be these corporate bigwigs, these corporate fat cats that donate tons of money, by the way. So if you're a regular person, you're a Johnny Q, Sally Sue, mom and pop shop type thing. Not you. But if you're somebody that they deem essential, even if it's overboard, they'll be allowed to drive. But you know what? That would really cut down on accidents. It would really cut it down. And they'd say, well, people are like, well, dude, it's kind of an extreme measure. You didn't need to take that extreme of a measure. Yeah, but we're being proactive. We're being proactive. And yeah, it would hurt the economy. Imagine that. And you would end up having a fallout like we are now with depression, with suicide. What, 11-year-old kid? Did he kill himself on a Zoom call? Did he kill himself in front of other people? Wasn't it an 11-year-old kid that did that? It's uncanny. Extensive child trafficking networks run by Hollywood and political elite. Americans are like, well, whatever. Some guy not wearing a mask at a gas station. And we see this. You see this all the time. We have a situation right here. Check this one out.
No?
No. Don't want one.
Why not?
Because I don't need it. Why? Do you need it?
Yeah, you should wear one because there's a global pandemic going on. Yeah.
Well, you got yours.
I got mine on. Yeah,
Good.
I'm trying to be safe.
Good. Okay. Thanks.
But you could infect somebody else
and see what this guy's not understanding. It's not hilarious. It's actually tragic. Because as someone whose daughter died of brain cancer 4 years ago now, going through that experience, you learn a lot, by the way, about people who are immunocompromised. You learn a lot about it. And so you go, man, this is a crazy thing where you're watching people now talk about COVID and talk about this as if it's a novel thing. And they say, well, maybe the virus is novel. I mean, it's a bioweapon. Like if it's created by human hands, I mean, it wouldn't be a problem. But the thing is that no matter how they talk about it, the idea of immunocompromised people is so not novel that well before this, there was a place called the Children's Healing Center in Grand Rapids where to go, you were a parent of a kid who had some kind of a problem that caused them to be immunocompromised. whether it's cancer, diabetes, there's a whole slew of these things. And it was a place where they could go and be assured that the people in there were not sick. In fact, to go in there, you would need to have a lot of the same precautions and measures that you're seeing right now in hospitals for everybody, all the time. Okay, so you go into this one place that is specifically a safe haven for these people. And what they've done is they've made it so that all of society is supposed to be that. That everything about that is this way. Not a place, not that you're taking precautions because of yourself, which is what we had to do. It's what our daughter had to do. That's why we had masks in our home. That's why we had people, if they were sick, we told them you can't come over. That's why if there were a bunch of kids sick in her class, the teachers would let us know ahead of time and say, look, we'd take her out of school and go back home. That's why. And so it's why she took Pentam. So when you're sitting there and you're trying to make it so that everybody, as if, and a lot of times this debate is wrapped up with the idea that, well, it's all going to stop once the vaccine comes out. It's all going to stop once the vaccine comes out. Number one, it's hogwash. Number two, they're not understanding. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. They're not understanding that the underlying principles and facts that are underlying and that they believe give force to their argument for a mandate, that those don't disappear even if COVID was magically wiped off the planet. It just doesn't. We've gone through this so many times. Someone said, there's a global pandemic and I'm worried about dying, so let me go to a crowded rally to tell you to put on a mask. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's like people don't understand that. They don't understand how that plays itself out. And there's a lot of people that say, oh, no, we're not talking about wearing masks 24/7 all the time everywhere you go for the rest of our lives. And the truth is, you say yes, but only because you're completely ignorant. Because your argument right now, the argument you have right now, based on the principles and the data that you're using right now, with the percentages right now, if you go back in time, it didn't just magically start with freaking COVID. It didn't. Otherwise, the Children's Healing Center makes no sense. Otherwise, the precautions done for families and for children like ours with cancer makes no sense. Otherwise, the statistics that we've seen throughout time when it comes to flu and pneumonia and the way that affects people who are elderly, who are obese, who have diabetes, who have cancer, people of color. You say, man, look at the way it affects it. Look at the numbers. Certain years much worse than others. And you say, if they say, well, that's not enough. That's not as many. And you go, okay, it's crazy because what per the numbers right now, what do we say last week? That COVID is the fourth worst pandemic that America has experienced in the last, 100 plus years. It's the fourth worst one. And you go, look, the idea that those restrictions and that those would not apply would only make sense if they start to review and say, well, the risk analysis that we'll do for those other things, we don't believe warrants that. And you go, well, now at least we're on the level of looking at statistics and risk analysis. And at least we're on the same page. And you're making that decision. That's heartless of you, by the way. Do you hate little kids with cancer? Why not bring them to a cancer ward and have all those little kids looking up with puppy dog eyes and say, hey, bro, look, you want these kids to die? You want all these kids in the chemo ward? You want them dead, son? Is that really what you're about? Well, no, obviously not. Oh, okay, I hear you. In fact, I'm echoing that. And there's a lot of people that are like, they're talking about the vaccine as if it's going to, this is going to be a great thing. And it's like, well, look, I mean, there's some serious issues and concerns, by the way. It's so bad that the UK, they won't even comment on some of the effects of this. By the way, having to do, or did they recently say, well, there may be some things to do with, infertility. Well, maybe. There might be. There might be. And the idea of like, well, we're going to go ahead and do this. Look, I am not. I know people who are just in principle entirely opposed to any vaccine. I am not. I'm not that person. And yet at the same time, I look at it and say, I treat certain vaccines differently based on the amount of data available and based on the openness and transparency of the possible side effects that come with it. And I say, this doesn't match. And how long does it normally take? Now we can call it super speed, right? It's fast track. It's like, coming along real quick. They can say that, but that's actually not good. They're treating it politically as though it's good. Politically. They're saying, well, it's coming along real fast. It'll be great. And you go, there's a reason why some things take longer. And there's a fallout. And there's a problem, it's compared to fast food and food that takes a while to cook up. You say, man, a little bit different in the micronutrients. It's a little bit different. It's actually good. Cuddling in COVID, hug bubble, let seniors feel the magic of touch. Not really. Not really. I mean, by the way, think of how dystopian this is. Think of how bizarre and dehumanizing this is. And most of the people that believe this, they're post-humanist anyway. They're technocratic people. New World Ordeites, man. Georgia Guidestone folks. In fact, there may be like the Biden team that he's assembling. Maybe they're of the mindset that, if you're 70 years old, I think you've lived long enough. Maybe you shouldn't, be getting meds the way you get them. Again, creepy people, man. Creepy people. Let's see. And then you got situations like this. Here's a lady. And how many of you can relate to this, by the way? How many of you can relate to this?
So this is my place, the Pineapple Hill Grill and Saloon. If you go to my page, you can see all the work I did for outdoor dining, for tables being 7 feet apart. And I come in today because I'm organizing a protest, and I came in to get stuff for that. And I walk into my parking lot, and obviously Mayor Garcetti has approved this.
Sorry, Willie.
Has approved this being set up for a movie company. I'm losing everything. Everything I own is being taken away from me. And they set up a movie company right next to my outdoor patio, which is right over here. And people wonder why I'm protesting and why I have had enough. They have not given us money and they have shut us down. We cannot survive. My staff cannot survive. Look at this.
Are you in that boat, by the way?
That this is dangerous.
Yeah, that's
but right
dangerous.
next to me as a slap in my face.
But you can set up stuff for the rich and heinous. You can set up stuff for the rich and the heinous. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with elitist goons, treacherous tyrants, man. These are people who have no care at all for Johnny Q and Sally Sue, the Main Street types. In fact, they have nothing but disdain. They hate you. And hilariously enough, they actually wouldn't mind you dead. You're probably a burden. You're part of the reason why their world is so overpopulated. You're part of the parasites that they believe are infecting the planet. The featherless bipeds that are infecting the planet like a parasite. You are your own virus. And they say, you know what? It's okay. And worse comes to worse, you're now under their control. You're completely dependent upon them. But not the rich and the heinous. Not them. They're special. They're special, kind of like all of these Democratic mayors, Democratic council members, Democratic board members making decisions on medical boards pertaining to lockdowns, and then going and doing whatever they want, eating out in public, bunched up on a picnic table with no masks, going and eating fancy French food that all of us can actually just dream about. Fancy, rich, French food in a fancy restaurant. This is the kind of thing that would be even beyond the expectation of most of the people tuned into the show. Most everyday Americans. They can't even imagine, even on a special day, even on some amazing, let's say, 50th anniversary date, that even that would have the consideration of, sweetheart, I think this is too expensive. And it probably is. But they can do it. And not only will they do it, but they do the insider trading thing, and they know what's coming, so they make sure to do things ahead of time. They don't let you know. They don't let you know, but they make sure, well, we're going to go. And in their rationale when they're busted, and there's a compilation of them just busted people. And what do? What do? They sit there and they say, well, yeah, there were a few more people than should have been there. I should have done that, but I made sure to be back by 9:30. Or my favorite one, we just wanted to have a sense of normalcy for a minute. We wanted to be able to experience something somewhere that made us feel like life was normal again. Screw you, by the way. Screw you, dude. You're a terrible human being. You're a piece of crap, man. You are hot trash. Because that's the very thing that everybody wants. And the difference is they don't have that inside track. And they also don't have the power to make that decision if and when you decide you're going to make that decision. And they don't have the money, the scoundrel money that you've got from whoring yourself out day in and day out to lobbyists and to corporations all across the world. So you take that money and you go and you do those things that nobody else can do. And when you get called out with a smile on your face, you downplay the problem and you make yourself a hero. You're a scumbag. You're a scumbag. And eventually people are going to have enough, man. They're going to, look, I'm sorry to say it, but people are going to have enough. And they're going to have enough because they're seeing that, for example, what is it, Guy Fieri has raised $21.5 million for unemployed restaurant workers, which means that Guy has done more for unemployed restaurant workers than Congress has in the last 8 months. That's actually a good thing, by the way. We need more and more and more people like him. We need more churches and organizations to come together and say, we are going to provide support. We have to come together. Because right now we're living under a dictatorial regime. And these people, they are the haves and the have-nots. They have a job. We have not. They have a refrigerator filled with food. We have not. They have the power to make these decisions. They have the inside track to know when it's going to happen so they can prepare and do what they desire to do with little to no accountability whatsoever. We do not. They have a weaponized police force that defends them. Walls around their home, security all around. We do not. So we need to roll with it. In part because it's not just that they have those things, but because it's a seesaw effect. You have, for example, our top health officials, Dr. Fauci and Dr. Redfield, have pushed for schools to stay open, while research from Europe has shown that countries can reopen with safety measures. Yes. Because he says, Fauci says you got to close bars, keep schools open. You got to do that with churches. That's a real problem. They're like, anything with family. They couldn't bring themselves to come against these massive rallies and protests that were rioting and looting in the streets. No, because COVID's like, I was going to be a super spread moment, but the fact is those people are black. Or they're wearing black clothes. And masks. Those people, they're wearing some masks. Bandanas. This is uncanny, man. Uncanny. And they say, well, I don't want to come against that. That's people's First Amendment right. Kind of like when he was asked, what about Tinder? Well, if people want to get together, I don't think so. It says more about him than it does about the virus. It's a remarkable thing. And people are going to have it. Because the truth is, everything changes once you wake up. You're going to begin looking around, like this meme. You're going to look around at the world. And you're going to see all the different things. And I hope this is an awakening moment. In fact, I've said this. I've said that we are either going to have another great awakening in this country, and there's precedent for it. You're either going to have a great awakening moment, or you're going to end up having bloodshed. It's one or the other. We've reached that point. It's an impasse. It's a clash of civilization and worldview, and they're totally antithetical to this point. What's good is to one is evil to another, and vice versa. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I'm going to get to the comments here in a second. We'll skip some of these things here. This one, the last great battle will not be fought in a field, but in the minds of men. It's one of the reasons why I've encouraged people, go read books. Unplug, man. Unplug, get back to those books. Guard them. Read them. Be quiet. Learn to like silence. Separate yourself from the constant need for stimulus. These electronic stimuli all over the place. Disconnect. Find yourself again in prayer. Find yourself again in contemplation and meditation. Find yourself again with your nose deep into a book. Find it. Find yourself. Because we need you. The world needs you right now. Wait until the people who just want to be left alone get involved. Yeah. Because that's where we are right now. And yes, just wait. Just wait for that. Because we're coming. I've warned people. I said, look, you don't even know the sleeping giant you have that has been awakened by what's gone on. We are here and we ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. In fact, we are. We're going onward and upward. We are marching forward every single day, triumphant, victorious. And even when it looks like we're down, we believe because we understand that the trajectory of history, the trajectory of that for the kingdom of God in 2,000 years' time, with relative size and scale and perception of dark times, difficult times, tyrannical leaders, that anytime you look at that and you say, it went through a dark time and what happened? The darkness could not contain it. The darkness could not contain it. And what began as a mustard seed has grown and grown and grown. What was leaven in the batch has spread and spread and spread. And it will continue. And you're fortunate, in fact, blessed to be part of that. Last thing. Speaking about that, and then we're going to go to the comments and we're over. So I at least cut it a little bit shorter. Okay. Right here. Emperor Nero, you will be sentenced to death and fed to lions for worshiping God. Christians, I will die as a martyr for the glory of God. In 2020, Gavin Newsom, you can't go to church. You will get a $5,000 fine. Christians, okay, thank you for keeping me safe. Which way, young man? Which way, young man? Which way, young woman? What are you going to be? Who are you going to be? When you're old and gray, looking back on your life and you remember these times, what were you? Where did you stand? What were you willing to do for yourself, for your family, for your church, for your city, state, and nation, for the kingdom of God? What were you doing? Will you wear it with pride? I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. And I know not only what I'm doing every single day, but I know what I'm doing every single weekday around 10 o'clock. Hosting the show with the Wolf Pack. It's true. It's true. All right, let's see. I'm going to go up here. I don't even know how far back I've gone. Don't know how far back I've gone. Oh, man. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, right around here. I'm really grateful, by the way. And remember, if you want to become a member, it's easy to do. You got to go to paleocratdiaries.com. You can become a member. It's a subscription. Is free. In fact, being a member is $5. Subscription is free. And the PayPal is A. Lee, L-E-E, Bannister, B-A-N-N-I-S-T-E-R. That is the current PayPal. If you would like to make donations to the show, and of course, donations, whether they be one-time donations, recurring donations through membership, or whether they be connected in some way with speeches that I do, which is really easy, right? It's just simply travel wherever I'm going to stay and a donation. And where I can stay, I don't care staying at people's houses. So you can make that. So I'm not going to eat people's food like crazy. I'll bring my own. Don't even care. I'll pay for my own food, pay for whatever. Pay for my own stuff. But real cheap. And the thing is that, and it's all negotiable, every little bit of it. And so we want to be able to connect with you the best way we possibly can. Because we're a wolf pack. And we need to get these messages out there. We need to do it. And that 100% of all of that goes towards my children's amazing education at Sacred Heart Academy. It is a classical Catholic school. Totally amazing. It's not just simply making brilliant minds, leaders of the future. It is forming future saints. And we're really grateful for all of that. So let's see. Let's see here. Yeah, and just so you know, I already talked a lot about that one character, Divided We Fall. I'm not going to give him any more time and space. Not going to do it. But I thank him for the algorithmic benefit. You comment that much in my stuff, man. I hope you shared it with your friends so they come in too, if you've got any, and that they come in too, and that they give it downvotes, man. They give it downvotes. They're like, dude, we don't like what this guy's saying. And you share it on Facebook, dude. This guy, go in the comment section, man. Rip him up, dude. Rip him up. Let him know it. Go against all the followers he's got. Look, you got to do it. You got to do it. Let's see. Yeah, J.L. Ebrecht says they'll bully people into taking vaccines. Oh, of course they will. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. It's what's going to happen, and it's not just going to be bullied. It's going to be weaponized. Let's see here. Now that's something. Okay, I said I wasn't going to mention Divided, but he actually says, "Son, maybe we found a point of agreement. I won't be taking the first vaccine." Okay, right. Yeah. Let's see. Some people say I'll resist the vaccine to my dying breath. All right. It's okay. So maybe Divided. Maybe we have some things we agree on. That'd be a good thing. It'd be a good thing, in fact. All right, that is not just simply he's not just simply a troll master, but there's actually some of the people who come in, and I've said this before. A lot of the people who tune into the show, we have people who tune in who have honest disagreements. They're not there to mock. They're there to say, look, this is why I disagree, and we're able to have that conversation because this is not a low IQ show. We go, look, we believe in logic, we believe in reason. I believe in science. In fact, I encourage people to go. I'd be surprised if some of my books about science and psychology were not in some way a little bit controversial with people who watch the show. And I'd say I've been influenced in different ways to different degrees by different people and ideas throughout the years. Not all of them equal. I put that as an asterisk up high on that post. But that's the way that it goes. Let's see here. Yeah, Colonel Autism says, and how the cookie crumbles, I personally don't care much for electoral politics. I just want to grill. Look, I get it. And in fact, I think that's one of those things that for those who are interested in politics, that they take that very seriously. And that they say, look, some people, that's all they want. And they don't want to have to even have a system in place where they're compelled to feel like they should care a lot about politics. Some people are like, look, I don't need to read the news every day. Why does every single person, why does everybody need to read the news every single day in great detail and go and read a bunch of articles every day? or be up to date on every single thing that's happening. There should be no need for that. No more than a politician should be required to know everything going on with your job. No, I'm glad, of course, that there's the journalists in the news are able to relay those messages. I do it here to keep people informed, but that's also why I don't take it too seriously. And I'm able to also be able to say, look, we have a great animal uprising. Look at the kangaroo trying to get into the person's house with crazy talons, took off the boxing gloves, you know, or, you know, any of the other animal uprising of 2020 stories that we talk about, any of the other crazy things we say, because you have to have it a balance, man. Otherwise, life is this hyper politicized thing, and that's no good, by the way. It's no good, by the way. I used to struggle with that. That's why I used to only read nonfiction, and I used to only watch documentaries. I've gotten away from that, big time. You're not a well-rounded person. Sometimes you might take yourself too seriously. Robbie says, let him eat cake. And the idea of eat the rich, we don't agree with. Yeah. Yeah, but you know, I'm not somebody who wants to just bash the rich. I have my position on corporations. I'm not sitting there and saying, well, we shouldn't have any billionaires in the world. I think we could have a political economy structured in such a way with you know, a free economy, and one that has the way that it would be set up would be to maximize ownership. In fact, there's one of G.K. Chesterton's criticisms of capitalism is that it doesn't create enough capitalists. And so if we were to say, well, let's maximize those who have capital. Let's maximize those who work and who are landed, propertied people. Maximize it the best we can. And to ensure that the economy never floats to be too heavily weighed on one side of things, like a service economy, but to recognize the value for the preservation and for the flourishing of any political economy, any sovereign nation, to have it so that it is a balanced thing where you have strong service sector, you have strong manufacturers and textiles, you have strong agriculture, okay? Everything in between. Talking about now there's reason to defund the police. You know, it's one of those things where I think that to defund them, it depends on what people mean. You know, if you say, is there a significant amount of bureaucratic clutter that results in overlapping responsibilities of multiple departments? Yes. The same is true on anything. You can go to you know, Secretary of State office, Department of Motor Vehicles, whatever. You know, you're going to go there, DMV. You can go there and you can find that. Things that are unnecessary. And I remember, wasn't it Australia many, many years ago? Wasn't it in the 90s where they were even asking every agency to show why they weren't just good, but essential? And if they couldn't actually show that it was essential or that it wasn't an overlap of something already happening, like getting tags on cars. For example, the little tags that every year, you know, you're putting a new tag on it and stuff. They're like, well, what's the reason for that? What's the reason? Is that necessary? Should you even have to? And if you can't demonstrate that, then they would give you not only a certain period of time to phase out, but then also ensure that they're working to land you jobs in the private sector, right? Or maybe that your business, maybe that group would do well in the private sector, that office, and that they would help that to be created. I believe that happened. Let's see here. Church bad. Casinos, riots, protests, good. Yeah. Isn't that what you've seen? Yeah, we can't work, but we can still be taxed and billed, as James. You're totally right, by the way. You're totally right. It's shutting people out of business right now. They're like, oh, you still got to pay. You still got to pay. You can't make money because of the rules, but you have to pay because of the rules. And if you don't pay, you're going to lose your home. How many millions, by the way, at the end of this month, how many millions just after Christmas are no longer going to be able to live in their homes anymore? You tell me. You tell me. How many businesses, how many homes James says, speaking of reading, shout out to Jeremiah's reading list. Dude, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Nobel Clinton said, interesting show. Got to run. Godspeed, Jeremiah. Godspeed to you. I appreciate you, my buddy. Let's see here. Let's see. When the current president makes a 46-minute video and it's not on any mass media channel, i.e. not allowed on regular TV, you know you are in trouble. Yeah, estimated 19 million people. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the fallout. Okay, I got to have my family come down because we're going to head out right now. Let's see. Okay, yes. Okay. All right, I wanted to make sure that I had this straight here. Maximalism. What does maximalism mean? Because in the comment section, I was asked about that. Who did that? Is it Jaylee Breck? How would you pronounce that? Just because I don't have my glasses on either. It says right here, in the arts, maximalism, or it says maximalism is a term in the arts, including literature, visual art, music, and multimedia. It is used to explain a movement or trend by encompassing all factors under a multi-purpose umbrella, like the term expressionism, maximalism vis-a-vis arts is a new way of creating art. Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you're talking about? Hold on. You know, maximalist anarchism. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, let's see here. I'm not going to go through this. I guess I'm wondering here what exactly you were asking about. But if the idea is analogous, where it's like you're maximizing the various well-rounded. Hey, yeah, dude. If you're maximizing, here we'll go ahead and go to the main, and then we're out of here.
Wait, Papa, I made you something for the show.
You need to do something for the show?
No, I made something.
You made something?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well, you got to get your head in a little bit more. Yeah. It's okay. Right there. So go ahead. Okay. Yeah. And you were referring to. Hold on a second. You were referring to enhancing people's potential. Yes, I agree with that totally. That's what I was wondering. I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's the artistic. Hey, oh. That's the artistic definition. Yeah. Don't. Just leave it. Leave it. Yeah. That was the artistic definition of that. In the analogy being though to maximize enhancing people's potential in a well-rounded way, totally 100%. I think that's how to be a well-rounded person, to be a good husband, to be a good parent, to be a good worker, to be a good citizen, to be a good Christian, to be a good friend. I think that is a well-rounded effort. And I know some people have a tendency to be, kind of like hobby horse enthusiasts, one-trick pony kind of things. I believe that we should be well-rounded. And I think that we need to maximize whatever those potentials are, not just in the person, but also recognizing how that impacts political economies and cultures. And I think that there's a way of doing that where it's intentional, but it's not scientific in the sense that socialists are using the term of micromanaging things. Because I don't believe that is something that is ever very good. It's not productive. You're not going to see a whole bunch of that, man. You're going to see a bunch of it, but it's not going to be very good. So yeah, I hope that was not, and if not, if I didn't explain it, I'm still missing what you're saying. Send me an email. I'm going to be checking it today. I missed it over the weekend. I'll check it again today. And you can do that by mailing me at paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. Before we go, though, my son wanted to... Oh, look at this. It might actually be backwards for you guys. Yeah, is it? No. Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah. So my son made this. Now, did you make those with your markers?
Yeah, I made us my markers.
Yeah.
It's about...
Do it's a wolf pack.
We have two wolves on the edge howling to the sun, and in the middle, in between them are animals with mad faces because the animal uprising.
No, yeah. So there's ones with the animal uprising where some of them are mad, and stuff. And who are the people?
So two people.
The two people.
Are Mama and Teresa.
That's Mama and Teresa.
Teresa is sick right now, so she's not down here.
Yeah.
And the three people are me, Ethan, and Papa.
No, that looks like me. That does look like me. Yes, man.
You forgot Lucian and Wolfie.
Yeah, Lucian and Wolfie. Lucian and Wolfie. So yes, definitely very grateful for this. Definitely grateful for this. Here, you gotta hold. You gotta hold it up. You gotta hold it up. All right, here we go, guys. We're coming down to the very, very end. Very grateful for each and every one of you who've tuned in. Love you guys. All right, every single day, every weekday, from 10 to, whatever. It was under 3 hours. I'm so sorry, Jonathan. I'm sorry. I tried, buddy. It's kind of hard. I'm not going to lie. I have a good time. Get on a roll. Talk to the people. Super pumped up. Make sure to go to PaleocratDiaries.com to learn more about the show, to check out the reading list, to find out how you can become a volunteer or a contributor. Super pumped about that. We have a whole bunch of options, a whole bunch of opportunities. Reach out to us. If you'd like interviews, speeches, any other inquiry, PaleocratDiaries@gmail.com. And of course, check out Paleo Cheese Podcast, as well as meaningofcatholic.com. They're great shows, talking about movies, music, pheromones, malls, doesn't matter. And of course, Meaning of Catholic with Timothy Flanders. Great dude, great guy. Until next time, as we always say, never give up. Keep on smiling. And memento mori. Yeah. I love you guys. If I don't talk into microphones, I don't make that mad cash. Making all that money. Making that mad loot, right?
Mind control.
So we see the minority elite imposing their ideology on an unwilling and resentful populace. This causes a backlash. People get ticked off. The left is working long and hard to make us feel as if we've done something wrong. Worse yet, that we are the problem. Don't let people just rip on your heritage. Don't let people just rip on your traditions. Don't let people rip on your heroes. Stand up for what you believe, what made you who you are. So unless this disenfranchised majority begins standing up for what they believe in their heart of hearts to be true, I think we'd be left with nothing more than a dirge and maybe a funeral procession.